What's up, everyone? I know you're not used to seeing my ugly mug here on a Friday doing a little bit of wrestling related business here. I was trying to get everybody to jump on if I could, but we've got some breaking news going through the WWE right now. We were talking about it last night. We expected it to be coming, but there are several news sources right now confirming major WWE releases that are currently taking place. As we speak, the news is just breaking. It is coming in hot, heavy, and very, 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 very fast. Thank you all so much for joining me to check this here business out. But we talked about it last night on the show that we wouldn't be surprised if cuts were coming in future endeavors were to start rolling in. And that's exactly what seems to be happening. WWE just dropped a bomb on the roster. And if you thought that the post-Mania reset was going to be chill, I'm sorry, but we knew this time of year was coming. It should be no surprise. We're talking multiple superstars here, factions falling apart, some names that honestly, to me, make little to no sense. In some ways, in other ways, they do. Let's just stop beating around the bush. As of right now, I'm just kind of refreshing here because this is all coming in super quick. As of right now, word is that Alba Fyre, Joe Gacy, Zoey Stark, Nikki Cross, and Uncle Howdy Bo Dallas, as well as Chase from Chase U, have all been released from WWE effective immediately. Now, I'm sure they all have 90-day no-compete clauses, so we don't know where that's really going to fall into here. But yeah, coming out of WrestleMania 42, WWE has officially started another round of roster cuts, and this is kind of becoming the pattern at this point, right? Every year, Mania ends and boom, cuts begin. And this time it's hitting hard across the board. We are getting major post-Mania releases. Again, for people just joining me, we have Nikki Cross, Zoey Stark, Alba Fyre, Joe Gacy, and Uncle Howdy Bo Dallas have all been removed, as well as Chase from Chase U in NXT. This is just the beginning. I'm expecting more cuts to take place as the weekend rolls on here. And you've got entire chunks of the Wyatt Six gone. Everyone so far has been named except for Eric Rowan and Dexter Lumis, which I'm assuming are going to be gone as well. And that faction, yeah, they lost all momentum and it was basically dead. They've spent so much time feuding with the MFTs that after they were on their hiatus from TV, they could never get off the ground. And really, you got to look at it and wonder, with the names that are being cut, like Nikki Cross, Zoey Stark, Alba Fyre, Joe Gacy, Uncle Howdy. Well, Zoey Stark has been hurt. Alba Fyre was part of that secret harvest. They, other than Chelsea Green, since Chelsea Green hasn't been on TV, she hasn't really been doing much. And it's the Wyatt Six, I think, right now is the big one. If you've been watching WWE TV for a while, you already know the playbook. Post-Mania equals roster refresh, budget cuts, creative direction shifts. And the budget has been a huge thing, or the ticket prices have been a huge thing. And we've been big harpers on this show about the lack of using all their talent and how the same people shouldn't hold the championships over and over again. Maybe they need to go kind of back to a ruthless aggression era type style and play hot potato with the main championships instead of having one guy hold it or girl hold it for so long. Get some of these other big stars going. I mean, the Wyatt Six, when they debuted, they were the biggest thing. They basically killed the entire roster, the entire gorilla area. We thought that they shot Chad Gable in the head. Only to a few years later be completely cut from the WWE. Some of them, their second round of cuts, their second time being cut. What does this actually mean for WWE moving forward? Well, are we going to get more NXT call-ups likely? Probably. Like, they've got to fill this roster, and these spots are going to be emptied and go to somebody. You got new storylines incoming. they could possibly return elsewhere, like AEW, TNA, or the Indies. Maybe a locker room morale issue. I mean, Zoey Stark was on the shelf, but they weren't doing much with Nikki Cross, which they could have. The Wyatt Six could have moved past the MFTs long ago. I don't know why they feuded over that stupid lantern for as long as they did. It really, to me, seems like the big question here or answer to all this is a creative issue. It's a creative issue. You can't underutilize talent and then cut them for not getting over. Creative failed the Wyatt Six. They never got off the ground. They got taken off TV when Bo Dallas got hurt the first time, and then they never got off the ground, never utilized. And you want to cut them like this? Zoey Stark's been hurt for the last year. I mean, are we going to see a lot of these big players in the indies? Absolutely, we will. It's the news is just coming in quick and fast and in a hurry here. I'm trying to refresh here to see if we got any other releases. But I want to get in here and give you guys the latest on what's kind of been going on. I'm not seeing any other releases at this time yet. But again, Zoey Stark, the Wyatt Six, basically, Joe Gacy, and Nikki Cross, Zoey Stark, Alba Fyre, Joe Gacy, Uncle Howdy and Chase from Chase U have all currently been released from WWE. Like I said, it's all pretty much what we expected. And I guess it's kind of where I've got the problem is because you can't sit here and tell me that all these talent just didn't work. No, they were underutilized. They weren't used. There's a difference between not getting over and not used. Zoey Stark had insane upside, but she was injured for most of the year. Nikki Cross had proven character work. She did it for so many years, but she never really got to play outside the Wyatt Six. And even at the Wyatt Six didn't feel like they had a direction for her. Joe Gacy had that extra gear. He had something different. Maybe he goes back to NXT. But if you don't put them on TV and you don't give them real stories, what do you expect them to do? What do you think is going to happen here? They're just going to magically do something? I get it. This is the business. Post-Mania reset, new signings, NXT call-ups, WWE roster is stacked right now. Somebody's got to go. But here's the issue. It feels less like strategy and more like cleanup after bad creative. We've been talking about this for months, for half the year now, how bad creative was. And I kind of wonder how much of this is the fallout from the Pat McAfee situation, where the fans didn't follow through with what TKO wanted and get on board with the Pat McAfee situation. So it's just creative is in an absolute free fall right now. We've been saying it. We've literally had episodes of Off the Mat that have said WWE is a creative dumpster fire. WWE is creatively inept. WWE is creatively bankrupt. They've got nothing. And we're seeing it now. And I'm going to say it. WWE doesn't have a talent problem. They've got a utilization problem. Because every time this happens, these same people go somewhere else and suddenly they look like stars, and that's not a coincidence. Look at Shotzi Blackheart. Look at Karrion Kross. Look what Zack Ryder, a.k.a. Matt Cardona, did. Look at what Cody Rhodes did on the indies. I mean, who else am I forgetting here? There's some big names on the indies that have gone and made a bigger star for themselves than they were in WWE. Drew McIntyre did it the first time he was released. There's guys that I constantly say, you need to release them, let them go, let them work their shit out on the indies and come back when they've made their star. How many of these guys end up in AEW when their 90-day compete clause is gone? Oh, Dakota Kai, Charlie. She's just getting back into wrestling and already making a name for herself. She had a huge match in a House of Glory match on WrestleMania weekend. Shotzi Blackheart had a huge match at House of Glory over the weekend. Riddle and Ciampa in AEW. Ciampa was a champion in AEW. Like, all these guys that have been future endeavored by WWE, you want to tell me that they're not stars and that WWE creatively has nothing for them and they go to these other promotions and all of a sudden they're stars. Karrion Kross, I believe it's the MLW champion. Maybe I think it's MLW. I'm not sure, but Karrion Kross has won multiple championships other places. You can't tell me that it's a talent problem. You can't tell me that these wrestlers were not talented enough. It's clearly creative. And yeah, Cross, they dropped the ball on. Absolutely. Because we said it last night. If you don't know who we are and you're just seeing this, make sure to check out our show every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, Off the Mat. We give you the most real, honest, and truthful takes on wrestling today. And we talk about it all the time. Karrion Kross. It was kind of released that, you release Karrion Kross because you don't like what he's doing, but then you go and you give his gimmick to Aleister Black. And then you're supposed to have Aleister Black be that voice in Randy Orton's ear, and you don't pull that. So instead, you pull that storyline away. You give that to Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee gets shit on by the WWE universe. So then you think, oh, well, let's bring in Jelly Roll because he's going to fix the situation. Then that gets shit on too. And then you have both of them pull out at WrestleMania, and you have one of the most absurd endings to one of the worst championship. I didn't think it could get better or worse than Cena Rhodes last year's WrestleMania. But then we get Orton Rhodes, which by all of us accounts should have been a certified banger. But that was the case because you wanted to let Karrion Kross go to try and give that role to Aleister Black. Then you pull Aleister Black out of that when he was supposed to be that voice in Randy Orton's ear, and you insert Pat McAfee. So to me, it's clearly a creative problem. It's not a performance or the wrestler problem. Like, poor Zoey Stark didn't even get a chance. She's been hurt. She was doing great work before she had that devastating knee injury, and now she's on the shelf, and you're cutting her because she's hurt? They wanted Cross, but not Scarlett. Cross said they're a package deal. Absolutely, as they should be, because Scarlett, they should have put Scarlett in the ring. WWE, if you look at it, it's hurting for female talent on SmackDown. But we don't want Scarlett. We don't want Nikki Cross. We want the Wyatt Six to feud with the MFTs, our bloodline light, for 6 months, and then have them not do anything. Go back and forth. You started hot with the Wyatts, but you didn't know how to use them. Buddy Murphy, thank you, is another one. Buddy Murphy, thank you. Blowing it up. Absolutely. Buddy Murphy's another one. Absolutely killing it. And AEW. I wish he'd come back to WWE. But I'm still searching to see if there is any other names people are speculating on. There's a lot of talent. Let me put this out. There's a lot of talent that are not scheduled to be at SmackDown tonight. So people are speculating that they're being released as well. So Ember Moon, Athena, thank you. You're just making my point. Thank you. Oh, there you go. Dexter Lumis is the newest one. Breaking news. Dexter Lumis reportedly gone from WWE. So they are clearing house on all of the Wyatt Six. Dexter Lumis is gone for the second time for WWE. Where are we going with all this? Like, we've got two Americanos running around. WWE essentially has 4 brands now. If you think about it, they got NXT, Raw, SmackDown, AAA. Why you have workers here? Gacy can go given the right opportunity. We saw it in NXT. Why do we still have Natty on the roster? I like Natty for all intents and purposes, but I'm just saying, you got Natty on the roster. I wouldn't be surprised to see R-Truth get cut again. Well, wait, he's a tag team champion. Can't do that. I guess he lucked out with that one. So what's going to happen next, I guess, is what everyone's probably thinking is you're going to see new faces come in. You're going to see storyline resets. And yeah, some of these releases, like you said, they're going to pop off. Natty's coaching LFG. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess they could future endeavor her, and since she's going to have a 90-day non-compete clause, they could still have her do LFG. But I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these names become big deals real fast. Dexter Loomis, Joe Gacy, Alba Fyre. I mean, I think they're all going to be big ones. Andre Chase. I never got behind Chase U, so I'm not really feeling Chase U. But yeah, the entire Wyatt Six. I'm sure Eric Rowan's going to be next. I know WWE's always kind of been high on Eric Rowan and had him hang around. So maybe Eric Rowan sticks around. I thought for sure. Like I said, I knew that these were coming. They do every year. We talked about it last night that who knows how long it's going to be till these future endeavors start happening. We knew these were coming, but the question was, I thought it was going to be more NXT people than main rosters. Honestly, I thought a lot especially with LFG, the developmental stuff they got going, they could be calling them up to NXT. So you're going to see a lot of NXT people get cut, and you still might. These aren't going to be the first rounds and probably the last. These are all coming in real fast and in a hurry. Like, I'm refreshing the page from multiple news sources to confirm them, because we've got people out here saying Jay Cargill has been released or this person has been released, and that's not the case. Those releases have not happened. So just because they're not on the SmackDown call sheet for tonight doesn't mean that they're being released. So I'm sitting here trying to vet news sources and sites as I'm talking to you all about who's been released. But that's so far so much. It just seems like all of the Wyatt Six are going to be gone. I wouldn't, like I said, be surprised to see Eric Rowan's name up there. Dexter Loomis is reportedly the newest one. So right now you have Alba Fyre, Joe Gacy, Andre Chase, Dexter Loomis, Bo Dallas, and Zoey Stark, all released from WWE. If you ask me, Zoey Stark, I wasn't always the biggest Zoey Stark fan, but I think that they're potentially missing out, especially in a kind of toned down women's division with Naomi out after having a baby, with Bianca Belair announcing that she's pregnant and about to have a child. Other injuries to just man, I can't even think of all the injuries on SmackDown. Piper Niven, you're not using Natty the right way, but I feel like Zoey Stark could have come back and really made an impact there. Nikki Cross wasn't being used the right way. She deserved a lot more. The Wyatt Six completely creatively fumbled, and like I said, I just don't think this is going to be the last round of cuts WWE gives us. Man, they did Bray Wyatt's family dirty. Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you're leaving this to a creative team. Because let's be honest, it feels like Bo Dallas is not as creative as his brother. His brother Bray created this entire world with the Firefly Funhouse and the Fiend and the Wyatt family and all this, and it just feels like Bo Dallas is not that creative. He is nowhere near as creative as his brother, and so they're relying on WWE creative to have something creatively for this supernatural group, the Wyatt Six, and they got nothing. And neither apparently did Bo Dallas. So they just feud with the MFTs for months on end. And then what do they get for their troubles? Walking papers. And that's right after WWE's out here signing Evil from New Japan. TKO didn't believe that. Yeah. I don't know. But it's a shame. I'm not going to sit here. Like, I can't sit here. You're going to see these fake overreactors out here on Facebook, I'm sure, and Instagram and TikTok just completely overreacting. Oh, why did so-and-so get released? Oh, like this is fair. It happens all the time. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say it's the nature of the beast. We knew it was going to come. But don't tell me it's because these people can't work. I want some credibility here from TKO, and I want them to acknowledge, hey, we're creatively in a free fall. We are in a creative free fall. We have to figure this out. We're trimming some of the fat because not because they can't perform, but because we dropped the ball on them. We didn't know how to push them. We didn't know how to push their character. We didn't know how to work around their gimmick. We didn't know how to package them or repackage them to actually give them a chance. I'll say it. Chase U to me was the stupid faction. It was a stupid gimmick. It ran its course. It should have ended a long time ago. It should have never come back in NXT, but it did. It's a gimmick that I don't think would have ever worked on the main roster. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not surprised one bit to see Chase from Chase U gone. I'm not even really surprised by the names we've gotten, other than maybe Zoey Stark, just because she's had that horrific knee injury that she hasn't been able to come back from yet. She hasn't even been given a shot. Dexter Lumis. I love Dexter Lumis. I think Dexter Lumis is great. I think his character was great on NXT. And even on the main roster. But what are we gonna do with Johnny Gargano? Are they gonna release Johnny Gargano? I bet your ass they don't, because they don't want him to go to AEW in 90 days and reunite with Ciampa and actually have AEW show you how to properly use DIY. WWE has this kink of, well, we're going to bring in all these AEW send-offs and we're going to put championships on them right away to really stick it to old Tony Khan, man. We're going to give the Khan man right up the ass here by putting a championship on Paige the night we re-sign her, and putting a championship on Jade Cargill and showing what she can do. And by all intents and purposes, she wrestled her best match at WrestleMania, hitting a one-winged angel at WrestleMania. I didn't know Jade had it in her, and I love Jade. I love her look. But let's be honest. Let's call it what it is. As much as I love Jade Cargill, you know who she is? Chat. Somebody tell me, chat. Who is Jade Cargill? Who is Jade Cargill the female version of? King says they haven't even done anything with Powerhouse Hobbs, right? How are you going to sign somebody and then say, well, we don't have any creative direction for you? We don't have any creative direction for you, so we're going to have you just sit there. And then we're going to have you win the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. Chat. 2 weeks ago on our WrestleMania prediction show, well, actually a week ago on our WrestleMania prediction show, I told you, I sat in this seat and told you that out of the 11 Andre the Giant Battle Royale winners, 3 are still with WWE. 3 of them. So, how long is it before Royce Keys is going to be bounced? And I hope that's not the case, because I like Royce Keys. But let's be honest, he didn't do much as Powerhouse Hobbs in AEW, and he probably ain't going to be doing much as Royce Keys in WWE, because they have no creative direction for him. They have no creative direction for anybody other than who you see on the roster at the top. And that's why Becky Lynch has got to be Intercontinental Championship for a 3rd time. China. No, AA, not China. Watch them release Royce Keys soon. Maybe Bayley has 1 foot out the door. That's a good possibility. Let me tell you, chat. Let me tell you who Jade Cargill is. Jade Cargill, and as much as I love her and I've gotten to interview her, but if I am being real, Uso, Bronson Reed, and Carmelo Hayes. Yep. Dumb yet, break up the Wyatts. And they sent them all away. Bye. Out the door. See you later. All right, chat. Hold on to your hats for this one, because I want some of you to debate me if I'm wrong. As much as I like Jade Cargill, she's got the look, but she just hasn't been able to put it all together yet, even in AEW. Not in AEW, WWE. She is nothing more than the female version of Lex Luger. I said it. Jade Cargill is nothing more than the female version of Lex Luger. And I can't emphasize how much I love Jade Cargill. I would love to see her be a Storm in the MCU. TKO is taking over WWE, yeah. To be honest with you, I ain't mad at that, though. Ahmed Johnson, that's a good one, too. But I just don't think we're gonna. You're not mad at that take? Hey, it is. I'm calling a spade, man. That's what it is. She is the female version of Lex Luger. Someone who had the look, but couldn't put it all together. As bad as WWE wanted her to be champion, how many title matches did she have? How many times did she defend that belt? It took a top star in Rhea Ripley to get the best match out of her. Something that the likes of like Tiffany Stratton couldn't even do. Like it's insane. Mania was sad. It was. Night 2 was far above and beyond night 1. But I can't sit here and pretend like, oh, well, these superstars that got released, other than maybe Chase U. Maybe Andre Chase. Okay. Titus O'Neil he's like in a ambassadorial role, isn't he? I'm about to head out. Hey, thanks for the sub, man. I appreciate it. Guys, if you like my take, we do this every Thursday night right here on Off the Mat, 9 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to hit that sub up button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm sure we're going to talk all about this all on Thursday when we go live, but I just wanted to jump on here and talk about this because, again, I'm not going to sit here and be one of these fake reactors that I'm not going to call out because it's not about that. But you see them all over Instagram and TikTok and all that. I'm not going to sit here and call them out because it's not about the drama or anything like that. It's about the sheer fact that, am I surprised that WWE is doing these releases? No. We get future endeavors every year. But again, it's not their fault. WWE dropped the ball creatively hey, there it is. Eric Rowan has been released. So they have officially released the entire Wyatt 6. The entire Wyatt 6 is absolutely gone. Eric Rowan has been released. They have completely terminated the Wyatt 6. I'm still waiting to vet. I got that news from a pretty reliable source so far. I'm waiting to second up that release. But that brings us to what? 8 total. 8 total releases so far. Eric Rowan, Dexter Lumis, Andre Chase, Bo Dallas, Joe Gacy, Alba Fyre, Zoey Stark, and Nikki Cross. Who's next? Well, I mean, Raw just had a bunch of call-ups. You had Sol Ruka come up. You had Joe Hendry's coming up, apparently. You have Ethan Page. SmackDown's supposed to get some call-ups. JC Jane's the name everyone's going around there, which floors me because she was in NXT forever. Not that, I mean, her work is exponentially, oh my God, I can't say that word, but exponentially gotten better. But it's creative. You can't tell me it's not. The Wyatt 6 had all the potential in the world to do something, and they creatively couldn't do it. So I point the finger at TKO. I point the finger at Ari Emanuel and the whole TKO brass. Like The Rock, man. What's going on with that? The Rock is on the TKO board, and he did not post one social media post, talk about nothing WrestleMania. And his cousin was in the main event with CM Punk. And the guy toting the WWE is my life. It's my home. But I'm not going to talk about WrestleMania. Obviously, whatever happened internally between him and Triple H last year is still really stuck in his craw because he didn't even want to talk about it. And I'm here to tell you, I don't think we see Rock at WrestleMania next year in Saudi Arabia unless Triple H is outed as head of creative. As long as Triple H is in that role, The Rock will not be caught dead anywhere near WWE. That's why they brought in Pat McAfee. That's why Travis Scott came out last year. That's why the main event for Cody Rhodes, the last 2 WrestleManias, has been dog shit. WWE ain't losing money. WWE is gaining money because you know why? We pay for you saw it at WrestleMania. How many people that weren't even true? All they've done is price out the real wrestling fan and brought in more celebrities. Look at all the people that paid astronomical amounts of money for WrestleMania, but they couldn't even sell WrestleMania out this year. They did, last numbers I saw, they did 10,000 less in attendance from this year than they did last year, but they're promoting it as their most profitable because WWE experience was expensive. Food prices were expensive. $20 for a water inside the arena. $500 hotel, a night for basic ass hotel room. WWE's getting their money because sheep are still paying those prices. $39 or $29.99 or whatever the hell it is for that ESPN app to watch all of your premium live events. So you got to eat, have an ESPN if you're not a sports fan, but you want to watch that wrestling event, unless you're just going to keep canceling and resubbing or doing a VPN or whatever you're going to do. But I don't know. This is a hot button topic. We knew it was coming, and I'm not going to sit here and act like it wasn't. And I'm not surprised, honestly, by any of these stuff that's being released. Let me know. Who else in the WWE do you think is being underutilized, chat? Who else? I feel bad for Matt Cardona because he spent all this time trying to come back, and he's done nothing but job out and lose since he's been back. Can we get some better creative direction for Matt Cardona, please? I feel like he deserves it. You can't sit here and tell me that WWE doesn't have the talent. Why are we seeing these same people champion over and over and over and over and over and over and over again? Why do we have Becky Lynch, who is a main eventer in the mid-card title, for a third time? I said right here on this show, if you're just joining us right now, what's up? My name's Matt. I'm one of the hosts of Off the Mat. We do our podcast every Thursday night right here where we talk professional wrestling, give you honest takes on professional wrestling. Go back and check out the episode we did last night. I sat here on this very show last Thursday and said, yo, WWE can do something monumental. They love their viral moments. They love to repeat history. Make history again. Have AJ Lee retain over Becky Lynch. Have AJ Lee go into Monday Night Raw. Have Sol Ruca show up. Challenge AJ Lee shockingly for the Intercontinental Championship and have her beat her for the IC Championship if AJ was going away for a while. Put the belt on Sol Ruca. Sol Ruca, everyone in the IWC is high on Sol Ruca. Strap a racket ship to her ass and send her on her way because she's already made it. She's already made woman in the main roster. There's no point pussyfooting around it. Give her that title. Make her a star. Becky Lynch don't need that title. You got Roman Reigns, who we were all worried was going to be a part-timer. Thankfully, he's saying he's going to come back and work a full schedule for the summer, carrying that belt again. It was the right choice because really, ultimately, you ran your course with CM Punk. CM Punk has fought everybody on the Raw roster. He has nothing to do. You need to refresh him. And by refresh him, I mean move him to SmackDown. But you have him lose the World Heavyweight Championship to Roman Reigns only to go put him right in a championship program with Cody Rhodes because that's where they're going. Joe says they release wrestling, but YouTubers on WrestleMania make it make sense. Right, exactly. I Show Speed. Hey, listen, I Show Speed did great. I can't take anything away from I Show Speed. That boy's talented. But I don't know what we're talking about here. If they dropped LA Knight, he would probably be huge in AEW. He was huge in TNA. Do you think LA Knight is on the chopping block? I don't. LA Knight is such a huge star. I don't think he's on the chopping block personally. I don't think he is. They still seem to be using him quite a bit. He's on TV damn near every week. He's got a huge following, but for some reason, I don't know if it's that his gimmick is too much like The Rock's at this point, or if it's the fact that he basically is a Rock Stone Cold hybrid, why WWE doesn't use him and why he doesn't get his push and why he doesn't at least get a mid-card title. They're building, look, they did it with Trick Williams. They gave Trick Williams the United States Championship. Why did they? I said it last night. I fully believe that they took the belt off of Carmelo Hayes and gave it to Sami Zayn. So that way Trick could purposely beat Sami at WrestleMania. And then they could spend the rest or the better half of the rest of the year focused on a feud between Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. And you throw the United States Championship in there just to make it that much better. Because if you don't have Carmelo Hayes have that belt, why does that feud matter? Yeah, they have history at NXT, but you got to have Trick have a reason to go after it. Now you have Carmelo coming after Trick because Carmelo wants his property back. Trick now has what Carmelo wants, and Carmelo's coming for it. So you built yourself in a feud right there. Great storytelling. Why can't you do that for everyone else? I'm not going to point. I'm not going to point figures at iShowSpeed and other YouTubers because they're coming in for one night. They were there just to sell WrestleMania tickets. iShowSpeed is one of the biggest streamers in the world. You're crazy if he wants to do it, not to have him involved in some way, shape, or form. That's why Logan Paul's there. Logan Paul made that transition, and he's killing it. But Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee. I love Pat McAfee. I loved him in commentating. I love his work, but let's be honest. He ruined that spot. And him backing out when he did, also, if the nude reports are true, and them having to scrap everything in reverse direction mid-program, it doesn't make sense. But as of right now, let me refresh. Okay, so CM Punk said it best, lower ticker. The whole IWC's been saying it for months. For months. All right, so before I run through the list, let's just Blake Monroe is reportedly being called up to SmackDown. And also Gacy Jane is reportedly going to appear tonight on SmackDown. Well, let me retract that. Blake Monroe has officially been called up, but there is no word yet on when she will debut and when it will happen, whether it will be Raw or SmackDown. I'm going to say it's probably going to be SmackDown. Given what we've just seen transpire, I'm going to believe it was SmackDown. Oh, Dante Chen confirms WWE release. All right, so it continues to grow. Dante Chen is the newest name released. Eric Rowan from the Wyatt Six released. Dexter Loomis from the Wyatt Six released. Chase, Andre Chase from Chase U released. Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy released. Joe Gacy released. Alba Fyre released. So the Secret Service is completely gone. What's Chelsea Green going to do? Because we already know from Unreal, hey, they don't have, Chelsea's a good worker, but she's not champion. She's not main event material, man. No. Zoey Stark and Nikki Cross. Those are your big releases so far. We do have confirmation on 2 call-ups and Blake Monroe and Gacy Jane. I mean, what are we doing here, WWE? What are we doing? Like, it blows my mind, chat, that WWE could sit here and be like, we don't listen to the IWC. No, we don't listen to any of that online backlash. No, not us. No. Nick Khan, I don't listen to any of that shit. Come on, man. We all know that you guys employ somebody that's got burner accounts that go in all these chats and sit there and listen and then take ideas because you don't want to pay for them. Good on you. Why would you want to pay someone for their ideas? No, you can just go online where people give them away for free. And I'm stupid enough to admit that I'm guilty of that as well. Just giving these ideas away for free. And Next thing you know, they show up in TV and you're like, oh man, I remember saying that weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago. Hell, if you listen to the IWC and you listen to any WWE podcast, wrestling podcast, you probably know who JD from NY is. He went on to scathing rant when Pat McAfee came over, and literally the following SmackDown, Cody Rhodes damn near verbatim said exactly what JD said, and his clip was all over the place. Shout out to JD, man. I love that guy. It's crazy what this shit is doing. Double O says long-term storytelling equals content from commentators. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can't make this up. We sit here every Thursday night and be like, listen, this is what you should do. I sat here a month ago and said, you know what WWE needs to do with Unreal? Unreal should not be a behind the scenes type thing where they are giving away the gimmick or the business and showing you how the sauce is made. Unreal should be back in the Attitude Era. We had these feuds that sprawled outside of the arena. Think of Stone Cold and Booker T in the grocery store. Think of Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon in a hospital room. You know, Stone Cold and The Rock in Detroit, throwing the belt in the Detroit River. People sprawling out, fighting into the, I think it was Edge and John Cena, or I'm probably forgetting, but throwing each other in the river, fighting down to the riverside. Unreal should be that these carry over. Your feuds carry over. They don't just happen. They don't just stop inside there. You had hardcore matches take place in airports. Yeah, it's probably harder, but like, have the feuds go out. I said you could have the Usos who are feuding with the Vision. The Usos are, okay, we'll say the Vision gets the better of the Usos on Monday night as Raw goes off the air. Then we see a clip of the Vision going to their next town and they're stopping for gas, and you could have Logan Paul pumping gas. Well, Austin Theory goes into the convenience store, and out of the back seat pops Jey Uso. Jey Uso beats down Logan Paul, leaves him leaving, and takes off with his car. And now they left Austin Theory and Logan Paul stranded at this random gas station, and it could play out. I said that months ago. And look what they're doing. You have Tatum Paxley showing up at a hotel room for Blake Monroe. You have stuff going on in media now. The stuff that went on during WrestleMania week with Jey Uso and the rapper whose name is escaping me right now. You have what Seth Rollins did yesterday on Good Morning Football. WWE is trying to do that more. And good on them for trying to make it more entertaining. Because I think that's entertaining. You continue to have that spill out and find new ways to be creative. That's the whole word in creative, is creative, right? You can't just give me, you were getting the bloodline again. Yeah, let's hear it for the bloodline. Who's excited for the bloodline again? Not me. Unless they tell the story differently. I said it last night on our show. CM Punk spent the last few months since WrestleMania sitting here telling Roman Reigns how he can't do shit on his own. And that he needs his cousins to fight his battles for him. He can't win shit on his own. What's the first thing he does on his first night as champion? Roman Reigns brings his cousins to the ring. I need you all by my side. I don't need you to fall in line, but I need you to be by my side to protect me. Regurgitated bullshit is what that is. Like, you used to have people showing up at people's houses and all kinds of crazy shit. But let me reel this in because now I just feel like I'm rambling and getting. Yeah, I miss my cousins. The most original shit we saw in WWE was them bringing Jacob Fatu over to finally give us Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns. But they left it open-ended, so we don't know if it's going to happen at Backlash or not because it gives them time to change their mind. You already have a depleted tag team division, so much so that your tag team champions are R-Truth and Damian Priest. Don't get me wrong, like both those guys a lot. But they're not a tag team. But you're not utilizing the Motor City Machine Guns. You just shit-canned the Wyatt Six. You just brought back the Street Profits after they were gone for God knows how long. Los Garza, gone. Who else? Half of the LWO, where the hell did they go? You let Ciampa walk. You neutered Ciampa and Gargano. You got Gargano just planking in the middle of the ring now. What are you going to do with him? I wouldn't be surprised if he's on this list. WWE, like I said earlier, WWE won't do that because they know he's going to go to AEW with Ciampa, and it'll be the biggest mistake of their life. Who knows how long? Who's not to say that in 3 weeks these guys aren't hired back? I mean, this is Dexter Lumis's second time being cut. This is Eric Rowan's second time being cut. Bo Dallas's second time being cut. Nikki Cross's second time being cut. But we can find a spot for a gimmick on the main roster like Joe Hendry because he's insanely over. Good on Blake Monroe for being called up. I think it's a little too soon personally, but WWE sees something in here, and I'm not in the business. I'm just a talking head on the internet giving my opinions. I don't think JC Jane, I mean, she tried to get called up once when she was with Mandy Rose, and that didn't happen. I hope she shows up and shows out. You got Jordan Grace being treated ridiculously on the main roster. You got Julia with the United States Championship that she barely defends. Yeah, she's going to defend it tonight against Tiffany Stratton. But are you going to take the belt off her and give it to Tiffany Stratton, another person who was just a bona fide main eventer, and you're going to give her the mid-card title? You're not using your mid-card titles to build mid-card stars. Why is there even a limit on stars? I've said it myself, and I've heard other people say it. Javon Evans will never be a world champion. He doesn't need to be a world champion. He could be the best goddamn intercontinental champion the WWE's ever seen, but they're not giving him a chance. Now, granted, they just gave the belt to Penta, and Penta's been chasing it for a year, and I love Penta, but Penta could be a bona fide main eventer as well. So you could have Penta going for the world title. Get somebody new in there. Jacob is new. Jacob is fresh. Let's see where they take Jacob. But is it going to just be that if Jacob beats Roman, he's got to acknowledge him, and next thing we know, Jacob's in the bloodline, and we're doing this whole bloodline thing all over again that we just spent 3 years doing? I was excited when they said Road Dogg left, because all intents and purposes, everything you're hearing, the fingers were pointing at him. But when he talks, he's not the problem. He was fighting the problem, and everybody else was the problem. I really think the old heads in the business are the problem. Bruce Pritchard, Michael Hayes. We need to get younger, talented guys in there. AJ Styles, give him a shot. TJ, Natty's husband, give him a shot. They've got great wrestling minds in the back, but they want to go back to the old heads that were part of Vince's regime. And what is it getting you? I can't in good faith point the finger completely at Triple H anymore because it's not his fault. He's got to fight against, not only himself, but Ari Emanuel, Nick Khan, all of TKO. And TKO can just walk in and be like, no, you got this plan going. Well, fuck all that. We're going to scrap that, and we're going to do what we want to do. SmackDown seriously needs a deep roster. Well, they just gutted it even more. So unless they're going to call up half of NXT, and Ricky Saints is another one whose name was coming up as being called up, but apparently he wants to stay in NXT. And apparently the CW wants him to stay in NXT because they want at least one big noticeable star on that brand still. You got Obafemi. What? All news reports are that now that Obafemi beat and retired Brock Lesnar, he's going to be used as a commodity, and you're not going to see him wrestle. Brock Lesnar, I said it last night, Brock Lesnar retiring screwed everything up for WWE because they wanted to feed him to Gunther. And I would not be shocked if that report is true, that they wanted to feed him to Gunther. Brock wasn't for it. Brock was high on Oba. Brock wanted Oba to retire him. So Brock said, fuck you, and retired abruptly at WrestleMania. So he didn't get fed to Gunther. And essentially that kills Gunther's gimmick. Who's going to retire now? There's nobody left to retire. So the career killer is dead. He's on the shelf. Rey Mysterio didn't want to get retired by him. So what are you going to do with Oba now? You're just going to have him sit on the sidelines? My cohort last night, Dom, said it best, is that they should have the best story now would be just feed guys to these guys. Have them wrestle. Feed them. Have them, both Gunther and Oba, go on amazing undefeated streaks. And then finally you have that culminate where they go streak versus streak at WrestleMania. Gunther versus Obafemi, streak versus streak at WrestleMania. And you just, whoever wins just gets that big shot, because Gunther retired John Cena and had nuclear heat. WWE sat him on the fucking freezer. Brought him back to retire AJ Styles. Nuclear heat. What does WWE do? Sat him down fucking on a goddamn bed of ice. Put him in the cold plunge, so to speak. Deep rosters are the reason these people get cut. No, it's creative. It's creative, man. If WWE creative was cooking and firing on all cylinders and used the Wyatt Six the way they could have been used, you wouldn't see them getting released. Like I said it, you have people like Maxine Dupree still on the roster. Green as green can be. She got the IC title off Becky and did this whole thing with Natalya, had this little feud with Natalya, and where'd that go? Nowhere. You got Ivy Nile. How many times are we going to watch her fight for that Women's Intercontinental Championship and then do nothing else? The Creed brothers. I watched the Creed brothers wrestle a match at WWE World on WrestleMania weekend to a crowd of maybe 10, 15. Mid-card titles were a bad idea in the first place. Just all the dumb second and additional titles on NXT from Evolve and Speed and what the fuck. Yeah. But I think they do great things on the main roster for the women, who you use them to build talent, to give people something to do and see what you have for the future. Build towards the future. That's what WWE is doing. They're building towards the future. What's that favor going to be now? Like, I'm still speculating that Brock hit the FU button and bailed, but the WWE is going to back a truckload of money up to him to where he can't say no and get him to come back. And when he comes back, it's going to be that because of this favor, and Gunther's going to, or Paul Heyman's going to get him to come back for one more match at Survivor Series, or not Survivor Series, sorry, SummerSlam, and retire him in Minnesota. But that's a big if at this point. That's a big if. And that's the other problem is we're paying guys like Brock Lesnar a shit ton of money to come back. The Rock, what was it, like some obscure, like absolutely ridiculous amount of money. TKO paid him like, what was it, like 90,000, something like that, just for to be able to use the trademark of The Rock. I don't know, man. I don't know. It just seems like I said, regurgitate this for all you new people here. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some like paid over reactor and oh my god, these releases are so terrible, blah blah blah. But it's clearly a creative issue because you could have guys go down to SmackDown or from the main roster, go back down to NXT, do some work there. But you have a serious problem on SmackDown. Brandon Young, just to run it through for you again, my guy, since you're just joining us. Dante Chen was released. Basically the entire Wyatt Six. Eric Rowan, Dexter Loomis, Andre Chase was released. Bo Dallas was released. Joe Gacy was released. Alba Fyre was released. Zoey Stark was released. Nikki Cross was released. They did not even give Alba Fyre a chance, man. She was someone they should have kept, absolutely. And I'm sure TNA is going to gobble her up. And let's be honest. Let's call it a spade here. What's WWE doing with TNA? Oh, that's right. They're poaching their talent. They poached Jordan Grace. They poached Joe Hendry. Who's the next person from TNA they're going to poach? Tell me, chat. Who's the next person from TNA they're going to poach? Mike Santana? Are they going to poach Mike Santana next? Like Leon Slater, that's exactly it. Nailed it. Leon Slater. Moose, I don't know if they're going to take Moose. I don't know if they want Moose. But yeah, Leon Slater, baby. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to bring him to Raw, and they're going to put him in a tag team with Javon Evans. That's what they're going to do with Leon Slater when they poach him. Honestly speaking, I think Zoey Stark should have won Queen of the Ring tournament. Yeah. Zoey Stark should have got a lot more play, but she didn't. And it sucks that she got that devastating knee injury because she had an opportunity. She was the last survivor of that stable. She was the only one in that stable that didn't get cut. And then she got the knee injury because she didn't even get time to cook, man. And you want to tell me that, the names I rattled off, Dante Chen, Dexter Loomis, Eric Rowan, Bo Dallas, Dexter Loomis, Alba Fyre, Zoey Stark, Nikki Cross, they weren't talented? Come on, man. It's purely a lack of direction as far as creative goes. Creative had nothing for these people. And yet poor Royce Keys is sitting here backstage, licking his jaws, wanting to perform. And poor Matt Cardona is just being fed to the wolves. Chelsea Green can't get a fair shake, and the whole world knows it now thanks to WWE Unreal. Against the reported news, Ricky Sosa signed to WWE, not TNA. His contract is 4 years, was stated the first 24 months. He will wrestle at TNA. But they're out here signing international stars like Evil. And, are we going to see Danhausen? Danhausen got over on his own, man. I'm just happy WWE didn't give up on Danhausen after the reception he got at Elimination Chamber. And then he turns around and he's a gimmick, but hell, that gimmick sells so much so that Fanatics couldn't keep his t-shirt in stock over WrestleMania weekend, had to keep reprinting them. And so much so that they're bringing him to Fanatics Fest now because the dude is a walking paycheck. They just show Royce Keys crying every week, pretty much. Honestly, WWE hates international stars over their main stars. I mean, Shinsuke Nakamura got a lot of play, but he never got play in the main roster the way he did in NXT or even in New Japan. Wyatt Six had a great startup when they debuted, but creative just couldn't pull the trigger. It was even hard to figure out what to do with them and who they feud with. Look, the Wyatt Six, yes, like I said, they came out, they had that great debut where they basically murdered the entire Raw roster. Like I said, we all thought Chad Gable was shot in the head, right? And the thing with the Wyatt Six is if I remember correctly, and you know, to paraphrase CM Punk here, chat, tell me when I'm telling lies. Bo Dallas got hurt, so they kept the Wyatt Six off TV. And the Wyatt Six was off TV for months because they had no creative direction for them. And then you bring them back, and then you put them in like what felt like a 6-month feud with the MFTs because you brought in all these Samoans, you brought in all this Anawani family, and you had to have little brother, little Solo, start his own bloodline. So you got talent like Jeff Cobb, aka JC Mateo, sitting there following little Solo Sikoa around. Tala Tonga finally got a little bit of time to shine after being on the roster for what, a year? And before being even debuting. So you sat the Wyatt Six down all the time. And then Bo Dallas ain't Bray Wyatt. So creatively, he's turning that over and expecting a bankrupt creative team. And I'll say it, bankrupt creative team to sit there and give him something to do, give him a feud, give him a story. We're fighting over the lantern that is the essence of Bray Wyatt. We're going to just have them be the real life Firefly Funhouse. Okay, but what are you going to do next? What next? You got nothing for him. Nobody wanted to see those matches over and over and over again because Bo Dallas isn't Bray Wyatt. Bo Dallas doesn't have the same creativity, or maybe he doesn't. He just wasn't given time to cook, or WWE didn't trust him because he ran around screaming "Bo leave." I don't know. Apollo Crews and Titus are probably next to go. Or sorry, Otis. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised by Otis or Tozawa even. Danhausen is not a WWE in-ring product. He is the funny side plot who doesn't need matches. But yes, I'd use him more. Maybe give him a crazy fun stable. Yeah, but I mean, he had a great match a few weeks ago on SmackDown against Kit Wilson. So they should put him in the ring more. They could put him in a funny tag team with CM Punk. I'm actually surprised we haven't gotten more angles with him with R-Truth. I'll say I really think that WWE is mad. I wouldn't say mad. They listened to the fans and brought R-Truth back. Great. If he wasn't a tag team champion right now, I think they would release him. And if for some reason, if they have an impromptu tag team championship match tonight and R-Truth and Damian Priest lose, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow morning we wake up to hear R-Truth has been cut again. I would a lot of things with the Wyatt Six. What you mean? How you booked them? Yeah. Feud the Wyatt Six with Roman and the Usos or the Vision and have them try and recruit Alexa Bliss. They should have put Alexa Bliss with them to begin with. I don't know why they didn't. Especially when you have Alexa Bliss going out and still kind of using the doll and the whole gimmick that she had with Bray Wyatt, and she had the tribute to Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania with her ring gear and her makeup. They should have absolutely incorporated Alexa Bliss in that. And from what I understand, that was the play until the Bo Dallas injury, and then they scrapped all that. But when Bo Dallas got hurt, they should have had Alexa Bliss leading the Wyatt Six. But they didn't. I don't know why. I wouldn't have feuded him with Roman Reigns. But there's other tag teams they could have feuded him with. Others, like I was interested by their feud with the Testament, but then they went and got rid of all them, cut all of them, then abruptly moved the Wyatt Six to SmackDown, man, without even finishing the storyline. Middle of the storyline. You guys go to SmackDown. You guys released. We'll pretend like it never happened. See you later. If WWE was still run by Vince, do you seriously think that we would have half the signings we got since Triple H was in charge? No, because Vince cut all these guys in the first place. I believe that Vince cut Eric Rowan. Vince cut Dexter Lumis. I believe Vince cut Bo Dallas. Gacy was in NXT. I believe he cut Zoey. I don't know if Zoey Stark was cut before, but I know Nikki Cross was, and I believe those were all Vince cuts, and Triple H re-signed them when he came over and took over. Besides Nikki Cross, who else was released today? Well, I will roll that back for you again. Dante Chen was released. Eric Rowan was released. Dexter Lumis was released. Andre Chase from Chase U was released. Bo Dallas was released. Joe Gacy was released. Alba Fyre was released. Zoey Stark was released. Nikki Cross was released. And those are just the current names. I'm assuming, since it's almost 8 o'clock on the East Coast, I'm assuming we're probably done with releases for tonight because SmackDown is about to go on the air. When was the last time Nikki Cross had a match? Yeah, it's been a while, but I feel like they could have utilized her. She was a great competitor before she was the superhero Nikki Cross, and before she got put in the Wyatt Six. She's a great in-ring talent. They could have utilized her even more, but they chose not to. They chose to just keep her with the Wyatt Six. Uncle Howdy was a dumb character. Sorry, Bo Dallas run would be better. Yeah. Rotunda potentially in AEW. It's probably going to happen. It'll probably happen. I would not be surprised to see Dexter Lumis show up on AEW. Joe Gacy show up in AEW. Zoey Stark, maybe AEW. Who knows? WWE has done once Cody Roman, Randy, CM Punk, Seth, Paul Heyman, and other big stars that have been there for years and years. Mark my words. They're building new stars. Obafemi is going to be a star. Braun Breaker is going to be a star. I think the future is good with WWE and is bright with WWE, but they have to pivot to that future, and they can't just keep relying on the current crop of 40-plus-year-olds that are there who are looking to become more and more part-timers. I agree with Alexa Bliss. Yeah. Nobody had interest in the Wyatt Six. Yeah, because they weren't booking them right. That's what we've been talking about. They haven't been booked right in years. To be fair, Evil is the worst signing since James Ellsworth, worth wrestling in all of Japan. Well, yeah. And they're going to bring him here, and they're going to change his name, and it's probably going to fall flat on its face. Funny how it's a wrestler who get released when creative who has got no clue. Exactly. Yeah, I think I've been screaming on that for an hour now. That it's creative that has no play. And like the signs are there. It's just like, well, we're out of ideas. All right. Well, let's just create another Shield group and call them Dark State and let them run around NXT. Cool. I bet Ludwig, Otis, and Takawa, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, Maxine Dupree, some NXT, and Chad Gable were released. No, they're not. Look, they're not going to release Ludwig Kaiser or Chad Gable because those two are insanely over as the El Grande Americanos in AAA. And they're getting ready to work towards their mask versus mask match in AAA. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kaiser do more work in AAA. I think they're going to have Gable be the one that loses that on mask, and Gable comes back. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, I want them to stop being in Los Americanos and go back to being Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate and be a tag team again. Maxine Dupree, yeah, I could definitely see that. I think there's some NXT stars that are probably going to be X'd as well. but Ludwig Kaiser and Otis are 100 or and okay, Otis I could see too, but Ludwig Kaiser and, Chad Gable, I think are 100% safe. He cut Bronson Reed, yeah, okay. Yeah, Bronson Reed's another one that got cut. Listen, Dom, my cohort on here has been screaming for Karrion Kross and Scarlett to come back, but WWE doesn't see any value in Scarlett. They want Karrion Kross, they don't want Scarlett. They're husband and wife, they're a package deal. They're not going to do one without the other. So, yeah, Karrion Kross can just keep killing it in making his, money on the indie scene. But like I said, I think we're gonna probably see the, end of the cuts for tonight. Do I think that there's going to be more this weekend? Absolutely. I think tomorrow we're going to get another crap. Chase U is also going to be released. Andre Chase has already been released. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of that group gets cut. Uh, Kaiser won't be released. He has many high ups, like Taker admiring his work, and he is fun over as Americano in Mexico. He is trusted to be absolutely. Wyatt 6 on AEW. What's AEW gonna do with that group? Are they just gonna go over there and be another Dark Order? Are they gonna you're gonna send Bo Dallas over there and have him lead a new Dark Order? Kind of like what they did with Brody Lee. I don't know what AEW AEW is. Listen, let me give you my spiel on AEW. All right. AEW has some great professional wrestling, but Tony Khan can't tell a story to save his life. I'm going to date myself here, age myself a little bit. Have any of you seen the movie Pee-wee's Big Adventure? I like to picture Tony Khan as Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure sitting in his ridiculously oversized bathtub with his wrestling action figures, making them fight, and that's how he writes AEW scripts. That's just what I think. If Tony Khan could get his head out of his own ass and get out of his way and actually tell stories, he's got an amazing roster of professional wrestlers. He could do great things with them. It's funny how you hear people complain that WWE doesn't have enough wrestling during the WrestleMania. Like they had 98 minutes of total wrestling on night one or something like that. And then they complained about AEW has too much wrestling. So I don't know about the Wyatt 6 on AEW. Most releases are happening because they save money. I mean, they still have to pay these people for 90 days. WWE is just paying them to sit at home. So what are they really saving? Why not just, use them and then release them when their contract's up? You're not really saving anything because you're still paying them for the next 90 days. Some of them probably even longer, which we've learned from previous releases. It all depends on what their contract is. I don't have the ins and outs of contracts. I wouldn't say Uncle Howdy was a dumb character. Obviously, that was Bray's vision, which he didn't get to see in the final version of it, but it was pretty poorly executed by creative. And I think Uncle Howdy would have been a exponentially better character if Bray Wyatt was still here and Bray Wyatt was still navigating that character. But I don't think Bo Dallas had that same creative mind that his brother did. Put Obafemi with Royce Keys. Yeah, and do what? Make them the authors of Pain 2.0 and eventually cut them down the line? Obafemi should be a huge star on Raw, and Royce Keys should be a huge star on SmackDown. Just you can have Obafemi be your powerhouse on Raw and Royce Keys be your powerhouse on SmackDown. I think that's the best track for them. Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green need to go to NXT to save that side. Yeah, Matt Cardona needs something, man. I love Matt Cardona so much. I loved him on the indies, man. Always ready. He was out there winning championships left and right, and then he just comes back to WWE, and it's like they're just jobbing him out all over again. I have so much love and respect for Matt Cardona, and I really wish they would push him more. Wyatt 6 to TNA. Maybe I could see TNA. Have him feud with with the righteous. They brought Matt Cardona back, and they're running all the momentum he gained in the Indies. Absolutely, that's exactly what they're doing. 100% putting him on ice because they didn't want him to go to AEW. He did some work in AEW, he did some work in TNA, but AEW didn't sign him to a contract. But WWE brought him home after the massive response he got and the Cena retirement stuff. But they're not they're if I'm so upset about that because I think that Matt Cardona is such a great performer and his wife is fantastic too. Chelsea Green is probably one of the most over women in WWE next to the likes of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Candice and Johnny are getting released. I could definitely see that happening. But like I said before, I don't I think they're gonna do something with Johnny Gargano and the Motor City Machine Guns with Candice LeRae. But I don't think WWE is going to release Johnny Gargano right now because, like I said, I think Tony Khan is licking his chops, hoping that they release Gargano, so that way he can sign him to TNA or to AEW. I mean, and pair him with Ciampa again. They do this every year with releases. It happens every year after me. I know, and that's why I said I'm not sitting here being some overreactor. I'm just laying it out there that these I'm not going to sit here and have some fake overreactor sit here and say, "Oh my god, like how could you do that? How could you release Zoey Stark? Oh my god, how I'm so distraught." Dude, it's 100% a creative thing. That's what it is. They don't have creative for these people. It's say they're going to save money in the long run, yes, but they still have to pay these people for 90 days and they have no creative for these people. So it's 100% a creative issue. You can't tell me that you can't put it on the performers. And it's not a shock that releases are happening. I knew they were going to happen, but like it's the fact that it's talent that were underutilized, not because they couldn't perform, but because creative had no direction for them. These guys and girls are all going to go to the indies and absolutely kill it. Like I said before, the same way that Shotzi Blackheart is killing it, the same way that Killer Cross is killing it, the same way that Charlie, aka Dakota Kai, is killing it, the same way that Priscilla Kelly is killing it. Like there's so many people who have been cut from WWE that are absolutely out there killing it, and that's 100% is a creative thing. It's not you. I'm not going to sit here and let WWE and go, it's a money thing. It's a money thing. No, they just release their earnings calls and they're doing just fine. It's 100%. They don't have creative for these people, but yet they've got people like Maxine Dupree sitting in the back and Ivy Niles sitting in the back and all these people that were barely on TV they're hanging around probably because their contracts are exponentially less than what these performers are getting. But the Wyatt Six were a draw and they just never use them. They're not using Fraxium either, right? Fraxium was huge. I dare WWE to release Fraxium and Motor City Machine Guns. They won't. Crazy they brought Cardona back to job again. I don't get it, man. Let the man be great elsewhere if you're going to do that. Let him be great in WWE. He came back to be WWE champion. I want to see him versus Cody Rhodes as soon as Cody's cleared. I don't want to see Punk. I mean, look, Punk and Cody was always the original WrestleMania plan. It was supposed to be Punk versus Cody, Seth versus Roman. But Seth's injury, they had to pivot. And so they went with their second best matchup, and that happened to be Punk versus Roman. And then they finally pulled the trigger on Randy and Cody, and they fucked that all up. So I love that they brought back my girl Paige. She was my WWE biggest crush, and Asuka, and also to Io Sky and Kairi Sane. Yeah, I love Paige. I'm glad to see Paige is home. I hope Paige's neck holds up. If you watch the Stephanie McMahon interview with her, podcast with her, Paige seems like she's in a great place. She's sober. I hope she kills this WWE run. Absolutely kills it, even though I think they're going to fuck her over. And the minute Nikki Bella's cleared, they're going to have Paige and Brie drop those titles to put them on Brie and Nikki. But They should have booked Asuka and Kairi Sane better instead of having them as a tag team for 5 years ago. They missed a big opportunity with this. Remember when they brought them back, they said the Kabuki Warriors were only gonna be a tag team for one night only. And, yeah, look, here we are, what, a year, 2 years later, and they're still a tag team, and they should have given us they should have given us Io Sky versus Asuka at WrestleMania, or Io Sky against Julia at WrestleMania. Like, they could have given us that over the unsanctioned match, because I think the unsanctioned match was nothing more than a glorified street fight, and it should have been a Hell in a Cell or a Last Man Standing match. That would have really sold it. But I think you could have taken that match off, and you could have taken the Vision versus uh, the Usos and LA Knight off and given it to Io Sky and Asuka, or Io Sky and Julia. Or you could have even, saved the Bianca Belair pregnancy reveal to the Raw after, and given that to Io Sky and Oscar, Io Sky and Julia. They could have found, you had 7 matches night 1, 6 matches night 2. They could have given us that match on night 2. They could have fit it in any way they wanted to, but they didn't. After this build to Mania, maybe people from creative should be fired. The bookers on night 1 definitely should be. Absolutely. They need a creative refresh. 100%. Like I said, Michael Hayes and Bruce Pritchard need to go. They need a complete creative overhaul in the WWE writer room. If we're being honest, the whole creative team needs the overhaul. Yep. I would say they need more younger people in that room and just people with the common sense. Absolutely. AJ Styles, what? Oh, Oscar retires in New Japan instead of WWE, in my opinion. Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. Roman Reigns needs to be released. He's boring. God damn, that's a take. My man's got a hot take right there on your tribal chief, right? You don't want to do that. No, I mean, Roman's a draw. Roman draws money. I just don't want to see him with the bloodline again. That's just me. Nah, it should be Asuka versus Io versus Julia versus Kyrie for the United States Championship, and Kyrie wins. I like your minds, man. Like your thinking. But all right, well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. I'll do another impromptu stream if we get no releases. Terrible take about Roman. Yeah, I agree. I mean, look at my man here said it, not me. Like, I throw one up for my tribal chief every now and then. I like Roman without the bloodline. Like, I like that they gave him his tribal chief, original tribal chief theme music back, and I like how he comes out, the swagger he's got. He had a hell of a match with CM Punk. I'm not for him going back and taking the Usos up again. Could we release the Usos Solo and Mateo? Why? The Usos are always over. Solo, I think they should they should let him be solo, put him as a solo fighter again, and let Mateo cook on his own as well. You subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the sub, man. I really do. I really do. Guys, if you enjoy what I've done here today, we do this every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, and off the mat. I'm joined by my buddy Dom and Sticks. We talk professional wrestling. We give you the most honest takes on professional wrestling. We don't sugarcoat it. We're not these fake reactors. We give you our honest opinions, as honest as we can, on the product, what we saw that week, the news, and where we think things are going. We love to talk pro wrestling. We are all massive pro wrestling fans. So if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to sub up, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. Let me know in the comment section below who you think else is going to be released tonight. I'm going to head off here because SmackDown is on. So I don't think we're going to get any more releases during SmackDown, but we potentially get some more as the night carries on after SmackDown is over. One more update list of releases. You got it, my man. We had so today we saw Dante Chen released, the Wyatt Six released, Dexter Loomis released, Andre Chase from Chase U and NXT released. I expect more NXT releases. Bo Dallas released. We had Joe Gacy released, Alba Fyre released, Zoey Stark released, and Nikki Cross released. Those are the current releases. They are all main roster except, I believe, Dante Chen and Andre Chase. So I would fully expect to see more releases from LFG and NXT incoming. and they're gonna just release and bring in younger talent to NXT that are less expensive and flood that market with new talent there to kind of offset the call-ups. 'Cause let's be honest with you, I think we're gonna get a lot of NXT call-ups to SmackDown because SmackDown's women division needs a lot of help. SmackDown needs a lot of help. I think we're gonna see CM Punk move to SmackDown. Rhea Ripley's being moved to SmackDown. I don't think we're gonna see a draft this year. I think we're gonna kind of get that transfer portal window thing going a little bit again, and we're gonna see the some raw superstars move around. And they I'm even in favor of them moving man, I don't even know where I was going. Uh doing the draft, getting rid of the draft and getting rid of the brand split altogether and just letting guys go across promotions. Motor City Machine Guns released. Sean Ross Sapp just announced it since Santo Escobar gone. Santo Escobar, wasn't he signed to an NXT or a AAA contract? Let me look into that because I am Apollo Crews gone. Are you just spitting out names now, dude? Like, is that what's going on here? Because I like to double source everything. Kyrie Sane gone. Come on, man. Kyrie Sane. Come on, man. Let's see. Let's see what if Sean Ross Sapp has got going on here. Because I don't. Some of those names are wild. I think you're just throwing things out there. Like I said, I like to double source everything just to make sure because I don't want to lead you guys astray, right? I want to give you real news. So let's see. We got Triple H has called an emergency meeting with the entire WWE roster right now, and the vibe backstage is absolutely tense. Tonight is being called Black Friday and True D-Day for a ton of WWE talent. Sources say TKO Group has made the brutal decision to go through with the mass releases. Namings are reportedly on the chopping block, and fans are going to be shocked when the list drops. Triple H is said to be addressing everyone directly in this unfolding. Expect a wave of releases to hit social media and wrestling news sites any minute now. And let's see. Fightful Wrestling. Here, let me share my screen here. Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. Okay, now I know you're just making names up, my man. Just throwing shit at the wall now. Let's see. Share screen here. All right, this was just updated. Nikki Cross, Zoey Stark, Joe Gacy, Bo Dallas, Andre Chase, Alba Fyre, Eric Rowan, Dexter Loomis, Dante Chen. Oh, nobody knew there. Come on. And that's Fightful. That's Fightful's website. So I think you're pulling some legs there, my friend. People are saying, come on, man. Sean Ross said, you got trolls all over the line saying that Chelsea Green's been released, and now you just got people throwing shit against the wall, man. That's why I'm gonna double source everything. I'm gonna double source everything. So I give you guys the real list and not a panic list here. Like I want the real list. So that's why I double source everything. It's all there. Nobody that you said is there, man. Motor City Machine Guns haven't been released. SAP they're not releasing. They haven't released Santo Escobar yet. Could they be released? Sure. Could they be released at some point? Absolutely. But like you just named half of the like Kyrie Sane gone. Aleister Black gone. They just re-signed him. Zelina Vega gone. Okay, you're just gonna keep gutting SmackDown. This guy says just saw Zelina Vega and husband got the boot. You might be right. You might be right, but I'm not seeing. My sources are not vetting Aleister Black yet, or Zelina Vega, or Motor City Machine Guns. I just keep saying the same names. I'm not seeing anybody else being released. Let me go to let me look at Sap's Twitter. Let me pull up Sean Ross Sapp's Twitter. How you guys feeling tonight? I'm in the West Coast, so SmackDown isn't here on yet. How's SmackDown going? Are any of you guys watching SmackDown right now? Anything interesting going on SmackDown? Any surprises for the SmackDown after WrestleMania other than an assload of cuts? All right. Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful Select. Kyrie, Aleister, Zelina, Motor City Machine Guns, Apollo Santos gone via Sean Ross Sapp. Let's see. Share the link in the chat. So I'm looking at. Okay, so yeah, all right. Let's do this. I found what you guys are seeing. Okay. Context is everything here. And I'm going to state that until this is officially vetted. Context is everything. Kyrie Sane is believed to be among the WWE departures Fightful Select has learned. Okay, that's not confirming. Believed. Somebody has said. Apollo Crews is believed to be among. That was 12 minutes ago. Aleister Black and Zelina Vega are believed to be among the departures. The Motor City Machine Guns are believed to be among. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying Sapp's wrong. I'm just saying that Santos Escobar is believed to be among. So that's what he's heard. So it sounds like it's not confirmed. Past years believed was 90% gone. I feel you. I'll give you that. But you just gutted. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier. So you just gutted the entire SmackDown roster, essentially, right? Like, what are you going to call up? Are you going to have such a shift that you're going to call up all of NXT to be on SmackDown? And then you're going to have all of LFG come up and be on NXT? Like, I don't know, man. What are we doing? Is this really the end of the brand split? Is that what we're seeing here? The end of a brand split? I'm gonna reach out to one of my cohorts again. He's got a great mind for professional wrestling here. To see if we can get him on to come on and talk with me. We'll stay on with you guys a little bit longer. I'm having a great time talking with all of you. Hope you guys are having a great time listening to me ramble and what we do with professional wrestling here. Finding a new voice in the professional wrestling space, I should say. Let me go ahead and send this link out to my boy and get him on here, and we'll get his take. This guy, he's one of my partners every Thursday night on Off the Mat. He's got some wild takes. I'll be interested to see what he has to say and his feelings on all this stuff. If, again, right now, Sean Ross Sapp is the only person I'm seeing report this. Sean Ross Sapp is usually a pretty reliable source. I think if like, I don't want to say his name, but like if I saw Meltzer reporting these, if I saw some of the other places I vet stuff saying these, multiple NXT call-ups are expected tonight. Lucas Cassioli is above the mental departures. So look, notice the wording. Like I said, context is everything, right? So Malachi Blade is among the WWE developmental departures Fightful Select and Body Slam Plus have learned. So that's a confirmation. Okay. That right there, these two developmentals are a confirmation that they're released. Trill London is among the WWE developmental departures. Body Slam learned. That's a confirmation. Serena Linton. Okay. These are all confirmations. So now they're vetting all of this developmental. I mean, what are we seeing here, chat? What is this? Could this be potentially? Look, I'm going to throw some crazy shit at the wall. Dom, what's up, buddy?
What's going on?
I'm going to throw some crazy shit here at the wall, Dom. We got pretty strong in here right now. We've had a ton of people in here tonight talking about these releases. We're going for an hour, almost 2 hours, an hour and a half. It's been great. We got a bunch of new developmental talent releases. I'm saying the chat here is going crazy, saying, Santos Escobar, Selena Vega, all these big. They basically just gutted SmackDown.
They just did. Exactly.
Like, and now they're gutting developmental. But I'm pointing out right now that context means everything, because Sean Ross Sapp is saying Santos Escobar is believed to be among the departures. So, I mean, are you able to vet through another source that these releases are in fact actual, or is this just what they're being heard, names that are being thrown out there?
I don't know, man. All I know is that every time they have a bunch of releases, they always have crazy names thrown in there as well, and then eventually they bring them back. But this is unreal because, like I said, they brought all these other people back. They got Motor City Machine Guns. They brought them in because they were a top team in AEW. They didn't use them as well. They won the championship one time, and then they just had them off screen for like weeks. And then they got rid of Karrion Kross and Scarlett to bring in Aleister Black.
Yep.
To do the same thing that they were doing. They didn't use them, and then they released them. I just hope some of these things are definitely are false, and they're just how people, all these rumors get thrown out and they start doing all these things to make to worry the fandom, but it doesn't look good because they just actually signed EO's fiance, Evil. They brought him in from New Japan, and they have the other guy from New Japan that might be coming too, as well as I forgot the guy's name. But that doesn't measure up. It doesn't measure up for the money they made to release all this talent.
Well, as I spent the last hour and a half on here saying, it's not a talent aspect, it's creative. They're creative. It's so morally, it's so bankrupt. They don't know what to do with these people. And I can confirm now for the chat through a second source that Kairi Sane and the Motor City Machine Guns have been released, as well as Zelina Vega and
Kairi Sane too?
Yep.
Oh, damn, man. Didn't even finish that story.
As well as Santos Escobar and Apollo Crews.
Well, Apollo Crews.
All those names are now finally being secondary sourced. So we can confirm that our list of They gutted SmackDown, dude. They gutted SmackDown. They're firing, they're shit canning developmental people now. So what are they going to do? Move everyone from NXT up to SmackDown? Or what I was about to say before you came on, are we seeing a mad sell-off for a potential deal to the Saudis?
That
are
is
we seeing a mass sell-off for a potential deal for WWE TKO to sell to the Saudis? We've been hearing these rumblings of Vince McMahon and the Saudis coming together to make a push to get WWE back. Are we seeing this massive fire sale on talent to make their books look a little bit better for a massive sell-off?
It definitely could be potential. There could be some fuel to that fire.
Because they just brought Aleister Black back.
They did. I know. That's what I'm trying to say. They just brought him back only to fucking release him again. Come on, man.
And they're pretty much firing. Most of the guys they fired are guys that Vince fired that Triple H brought back, and now they're firing again.
And
Aleister Black.
And on top of that, wait till some of the behind-the-scene people start getting fired.
Yeah.
You know, that's another thing. That's the next to go after we have these potential talent firings. You have the people in the back.
Sell-off for the Saudis will be after Mania next year, I think. You think so? You think they'll wait till after Mania next year?
Oh, wow. You got a big...
Oh, dude. I've been going for a while.
You should have told me. I got home at 7 o'clock, man.
I figured you would have saw it, bro.
Nah, man. I got home from the gym, man. I would have definitely gone in, man. I was monitoring everybody getting taken out, man. I was like, damn.
Yeah, I mean... And SmackDown's going on right now. I thought we were done until after SmackDown.
I know. SmackDown's going on now, and we have Jacob Fatu coming in the beginning to start the show, which...
Listen to this name. These names, all right? Here's your full list as of 2 minutes ago. Like, TKO has no chill. Absolutely none. None. No. Kairi Sane. Aleister Black, Zelina Vega, Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, Nikki Cross, Santos Escobar, Motor City Machine Guns, Dexter Loomis, Rowan, Joe Gacy, Andre Chase,
the
Zoey
whole
Stark,
friggin' wide six.
Alba Fyre, yeah, Tyra May Steele, Serena Linton, Tyson, Chris Island, Malik Blade, Thrill London. Like they gutted SmackDown and the entire tag team division, which they had none of.
So
already.
So you know what? What you said before about the potential sale to the Saudis, but there's another thing. Remember, there was the rumor saying that SmackDown might become the new development, like they'll have
a show for the young brand, yeah,
for the young brand, and I think they might be doing that. And then Raw is going to get most of the guys. You know, at the end of the day, man, this is even bigger than the last thing that they did back a few months ago. Well, last year sometime when they released that much talent. But well, I can't believe that we actually lost all these names. You know, and you would think, see, the Wyatt Six, underused, used wrong. And it's a shame because they had a lot of potential with their first meeting when they first debuted. That was a fantastic car show. They should have been going back and forth to each brand and taking out talent and doing things, and they could have been the problem, big problem. Unfortunately, I'm lost for words now.
These releases suck. I wish them all in their future. Hey, like I said,
I know, same thing here. I know.
We hear it off the mat. That's why I think you should subscribe to us, chat, because we give you our real, honest opinions and takes, and we aren't fake internet reactors. These cuts happen. This is a deep cut. This is probably deeper than I think any of us thought. But it's 100% a creative thing. They haven't really used the Motor City Machine Guns right. They haven't been using the Wyatts right. It's not a money thing. Like, they have nobody. They have nothing but room on SmackDown. So you just gutted everyone on SmackDown for what? How are you going to even be able to put on a SmackDown next week for 3 hours?
I know. And I think it dropped back to 2 hours. And you know what the funny thing is? You brought this up. The cuts are coming.
I did. I said it last night. When are we going to see future endeavors?
All I know is that cuts hurt, but this one really hurts a lot. They went deep to the bone, man, with this. And it's like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do now? Like, really? Are we seeing a renaissance of a new beginning for WWE where, they're talking about making things like no more draft. Like with the draft, I bring the draft up. That's totally.
Who are you going to draft now?
There's nobody to draft anymore. They're gone now.
But it's still like, what kills me is you have people like Aleister Black on this list, Zelina Vega on this list, Kairi Sane on this list. But I've been talking to the chat all night. Who are names on here that you're not seeing? Why is Maxine Dupree still here? Why is, and again, I don't want any of them to lose their jobs. I don't want anyone to lose their job. But my questioning is like, you have bona fide workers here for people that aren't working. So it's like, well, whose contract is bigger, I guess. I guess you're paying Aleister Black and Zelina Vega a lot more money than you're paying Maxine Dupree or the likes of Ivy Nile or,
With all these cuts, do you think they bring back some people? Like, do they bring back a Karrion Kross? Think about it now. They got rid of, you don't think Karrion Kross ever comes back?
Why? Stay away. You're doing way more on the indies. Stay away.
I know. And what about the Cardona? He might get canned.
Dude, I think I said on the chat, or I said on the show maybe 30 minutes ago that I wouldn't be surprised if R-Truth and Damian Priest lose the tag team championships tonight if R-Truth is released tomorrow.
And well, right now Julia's fighting Tiffany Stratton, so I think Julia's going to lose the belt tonight.
Oh yeah, they're gonna.
I think she's going to lose. And look, let's put it this way: what are they going to do now? They're going to have the crossover with a lot of Raw guys back and forth now because obviously you had the Usos. You have the Usos and Jacob Fatu teaming up to fight the MFTs tonight. So you're gonna have, the Raw is gonna go on, and like I said, you might get one more wave of released people before the day's over, and then the people in the back, the workers that make the shows something. Imagine Triple H gets canned.
I could see it happening at this point, man. It really feels like a fire cell of talent right now. Like, I don't think this is going to be the end of it. This might just be it for today. But
it might be more. It might be more because every time I look, it gets crazier and crazier, man.
Well, I mean, they're cutting AAA. Santos Escobar was pretty much working on AAA.
Man. I can't believe Curry Singh. The Kabuki Warriors definitely.
There's you guys. That's why I'm saying, like, I've been telling the chat have been firing off names. I've been saying I'm not going to comment on it until I can secondary source it, because I've seen people saying that Chelsea Green's been cut and stuff like that. And Sapp just came out and said that has not happened. She's not been cut yet. But, that's what, 90-day non-competes for the main roster, 30-day non-competes for NXT. And then if your contract is set to expire, then it's just whenever your deal's up. Just Kairi right now. Asuka I have not heard or seen Asuka's name. Right so far, it's just been Kairi.
Yep.
And Kairi was released once and came back. So a lot of these people are releases and comebacks. Aleister Black's going to have a 90-day because he just signed a new contract. Would love to see Kairi in Europe then, but there are almost no companies that could afford her. Yeah. I think, does Kairi go back to, does she go to New Japan? I think Kairi Sane's going to go to AEW, honestly.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. You're going to have a bunch of signees for AEW. You can tell that, or TNA.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely AEW. Tony Khan is definitely probably looking at this right now and going potentially signees.
But then they're going to have to make cuts too, because how much more can AEW afford to bring on and not use?
No, but you know what? They're making things, it sucks, man.
Oscar Shinsuke released equals evil demands.
Demands, yeah. We're gonna see what happens. It's a sad day for wrestling fans. All these releases, but you know what? Listen, sometimes they do bring them back. They release them, and then they bring them back.
Yeah, but Aleister Black just came back.
I know.
So
the Motor City Machine Guns just came in.
Yeah, they just came. They pretty much decimated their tag team division. Why not just release people not on TV though?
That's coming. That's probably gonna come. I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, they pretty much did.
If Triple H steps down because of all these releases, then it's really a takeover of TKO. Hey, I wouldn't be. You know what? The sad thing, I wouldn't be surprised. LA Knight's on that list too.
Yeah, someone asked about LA Knight earlier. Do I think LA Knight was going to be cut? And I think WWE is too high on LA Knight. They like using him too much. I think they would be in a shitstorm if they just signed Cardona back and then released him again.
He's definitely a one that could possibly go.
I wonder, honestly, because from a lot of the reports I saw, and I saw two different sites reporting it, that before SmackDown, Triple H called an all-hands meeting, and that TKO was making cuts. And I would not be surprised if they.
Thank you for the.
I would not be surprised if my brain just died and where I was going. Oh, if the Aleister Black and Zelina Vega cut was directly tied to the Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes situation.
Yep.
Pat McAfee situation.
But that's kind of crazy. Was it Pin Psycho?
Yeah, Pin Psycho with a $5 super chat saying if they release people like Matt Cardona or others that do deserve big pushes, then WWE definitely didn't know what they were doing. They already don't. You brought Matt Cardona, like I said earlier. Cardona was huge on the indies. He was the belt collector. He was winning championships everywhere. He was the deathmatch king. And they go ahead and just bail on him, and they're going to just have him completely just be a job to everybody. I don't like what they're doing with Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona is pretty much, in my eyes, exactly how I see WWE creative dropping the ball, even with the creative shakeup that they've had. Santos Escobar, I bet you Santos Escobar is probably kicking himself in the nuts right now, saying, "Oh man, I held out, went back to WWE only to be released again."
You want to show? Can you show the list of complete people list right now, up to now, who's released? Can you pull that up by chance?
You fear for Wendy Chu, Sami Zayn, Tony D'Angelo, Stax, and Fallon Henley. Why? Sami Zayn's not going anywhere.
Sami Zayn's definitely not going anywhere. If they do release Sami Zayn, that's going to be crazy if they release him.
Yeah, Brandon Young. I will go ahead and show it and release it. This is going to be Sab's Twitter. I have double verified all of this, so I'm not going to give you fake names. Kairi Sane, Aleister Black, Zelina Vega, Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, Nikki Cross, Santos Escobar, Motor City Machine Guns, Dexter Loomis, Apollo Crews, Rowan, Joe Gacy, Andre Chase, Zoey Stark, Alba Fyre, Tyra May Steele, Serena. Oh, I don't know why I clicked on it. I didn't mean to click on Kyrie's picture there. Tyson, Tyreek. The bottom half here is mostly developmental. Chris Island, Malika Blade, Trill London. That's pretty much it so far. You got to be very careful because there are other names out there flying around. Chelsea Green's flying around. That's not true.
I hope.
Chelsea Green has not been released.
Well, listen, I know there's going to be like one more renaissance of cuts. And hopefully it's nobody big. Well, Kevin Owens, just read an article that Kevin Owens is going crazy because he's not wrestling right now. So hopefully.
And they said he's going to be a coach on LFG apparently. So
for now. So we'll see what happens. But damn, that was a crazy list of people.
It's a big list of people. Yeah, it really is. Like, might as well let Asuka go too.
Well, listen, the storyline that they had with Asuka and Io Sky, I think all that's going to be.
It's a TK over takeover. It feels like that, doesn't it? It really feels like we are in a big, not creative, but power shift. Like there's a huge power struggle at play right here, and you know, it looks bad on TKO because they just did all this toting about how they had the most profitable WrestleMania in history. They are having record earnings. People are paying their ticket prices to go to these shows. And so why are we cutting? There's something more at play here that we're not seeing. So is it a buy off? Is it a takeover? Is it going to be a complete creative overhaul after how people online have basically shit all over night one of WrestleMania and WrestleMania as a whole?
You know, it's funny how Nick Khan turned around and says, we don't listen to what the other fans say. No, we're going to do our own thing, this and that. But obviously the fans really got in the ear of the top brass of the things that are going on. You know, and like SmackDown is totally gutted. There's really nobody on SmackDown.
Yeah, SmackDown. Yeah, Brian says SmackDown barely has anyone left on their roster. How are they going to survive after these cuts?
Well, you know what? They're going to have
You're going to call up everyone in NXT?
NXT, or they're going to have crossovers with Raw. The guys
I think we're going to see an end of a brand split is what it's going to be. We're not going to have a brand split between SmackDown and Raw anymore. We're going to have these.
It's going to be like it used to be.
Flowing back. Yeah.
24 years ago, they started doing the brands split. So kind of now we'll get to see what back in the Attitude Era, where each time you had the guys go back and forth, which was great. I like that. Well, you know what it is?
I like Brandon's dedication here. If they release LA Knight, I'm done with WWE for a while. Just for a while. Just for a little bit.
If I own
for
the
a
company,
tiny amount of time, we'll be back. We'll be back.
I don't care. You see, Brandon, this is where it becomes difficult. You want to sign every WWE guy who's released. It becomes the money situation. That's what happens. A lot of releases are because of the money. Even they made record sales and the record earnings, it still comes down to money and a lot of stuff that the tangibles of each talent that's there. So it's crazy. It definitely is. I can't believe what's going on today.
Well, look, if you look at the list of people here are really a list of people that were already in AEW and AEW let them walk, or AEW didn't have interest in last time they were free agents.
Yeah, but it's still.
Look, let's look at the list. Like, really out of all the, and chat, chime in here too. Out of everybody listed here tonight, who do you really see Tony Khan going after? There's maybe, if I'm being 100% honest, I could see 2, maybe 3 names on this list of releases today that Tony Khan's gonna actually probably try to have conversations with in 90 days. Motor City Machine Guns is one of them. Kairi Sane is another.
Yep.
Maybe Joe Gacy. Maybe. But I think Aleister Black goes to the Indies. I think Zelina Vega goes to the Indies. Nikki, I don't know what Nikki Cross is going to do. She might just go back with her husband, Killian Dane.
Yep.
Dexter Lumis might go to Hollywood. He might go wrestle in AEW, but I don't see a lot of like names AEW be after. You know, one name that I'm surprised hasn't been released, but and I've talked about him tonight, Johnny Gargano.
Yep.
WWE ain't going to release Johnny Gargano because they know for a fact he's going to go to AEW and be a massive star.
Well, you know, the crazy thing is, right? Grayson Waller, another one.
Yeah.
Otis and what's his face?
But is the Grayson Waller one for the international crowd because they can send him and Rhea?
Yeah.
There's been talk that people are speculating that Buddy Matthews might be coming back to WWE.
Oh, Tiffany Stratton just won the belt.
Not surprised there. Let's see. I know it's unlikely, but what if the storyline? But what if it's all storyline? I don't want to bring people's hopes up, but this doesn't feel like a normal release. I don't think it's a storyline. It could be like if this is a storyline for the TKO takeover, bravo. But I don't think WWE Creative has it in them. I don't. And could they potentially see your comment now, unknown, and fall ass backwards into a storyline? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know Aleister Black, Tony Khan, I'm sorry, please take me back. LOL, right? I can book WWE 10 times better. Release Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso too. That's cold-blooded. Aleister Black could be big in NJPW. Also Zelina and Stardom. Yep. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they let Grayson Waller go. Yeah. Motor City Machine Guns going to AEW 100%. Yep. Tony Khan I think he'll 100% go after Kairi Sane. But I think NG. I think that New Japan and JPW will be a player in that game as well. The Wyatt Six could go to TNA. I and feud against the Righteous, yeah, but I don't think they would be the Wyatt Six. I don't think WWE would let that happen.
Well, look, hopefully we keep our fingers crossed that nobody else gets released tonight. But damn, this is the whole friggin' scoop. It's crazy.
Give me Kairi Sane, Santos, Alistair. Yeah, I could see Santos in AEW, but they're not doing a whole lot with it. They're trying to push Andrade, but Wyatt Six, Lena Vega, and MCMG, Chase U, Zoey Starks, and any other free agent wrestlers, line them up, and they will be stars. Look, indie promotions are gonna eat well with all this because you're gonna see the local one here in Phoenix, I think it's like Cactus, something like that. You're going to see a lot of these indie promotions eating well with these guys rolling through until they get picked up somewhere. To be fair, I can see Bo Dallas for Dark Order, MCMG, Santos to AEW. That's all. Yeah, like I said, I could see Bo Dallas doing another Dark Order type gig. Kofi Xavier could leave as well. I think WWE's too high on Kofi Kingston. I don't see him can you imagine what people are going to say? They just re-sign Paige and then they get rid of Xavier Woods and people are going to run wild with speculation there. WWE keeping New Day, but Grayson Waller will be gone. Give me him also, yeah. Let's see.
That's crazy.
PSN Psycho with a $10 super chat saying, WWE fans, let's give LA Knight a push. Let's give more people opportunities. WWE is nope. How about we give you Pat McAfee and I show speed with WWE? Yeah, that whole Pat McAfee thing really took an ugly turn in the last week and a half, huh? Horrible night, yes. Andre Trace will probably retire now. Yeah, some more WWE releases coming tonight and possibly tomorrow. Yeah, I don't think you've seen the end of it yet. They haven't really even touched NXT yet. That might be because they're gonna gut NXT with call-ups, but yeah, I don't think they're done yet. Honestly, once Vince stepped down, I had a plan B. It was to destroy WWE as TKO Takeover. Look. It is very ironic the way we like we said, we see releases every year. I said it on our show. If you guys are just finding us for the first time, we are off the mat. Dom and I, along with our buddy Sticks, do this every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. We talk professional wrestling. We give you the rundown of the shows this week, top news stories, all the craziness going on in professional wrestling. We talk about this kind of stuff. And I said last night on the show, when are we going to get future endeavors? Don't be surprised that we are heading head on into future endeavor season. I thought at least it would be a couple weeks down the road, maybe before Backlash. I didn't think it was going to be
releases here and there, not a big,
I didn't think it was going to be to this extent. This extent feels big. This extent feels massive. It feels like there's a lot more at play here than just like our rosters are overloaded, because they're not doing a lot of signings. Yeah, they signed Evil, but they're not doing a lot of signings, and they're clearing out a lot of talent. So either they're going to make a big splash, but like I said, they're probably targeting TNA talent like Leon Slater and Mike Santana. It does kind of feel like a funeral a little bit, but
it does.
Yeah, you know, but you got to remember they still got part-timers like AJ Lee. I think they're still on the books with AJ Styles contract. So and I think AJ Styles just signed a new deal with them for stuff. They're paying, I guarantee they're paying AJ Styles assloads of money to be retired and not go to AEW.
Yeah,
it's crazy how they're bringing back stars like AJ Lee and Nikki Bella, but they can't give LA Knight a run for the title. Yeah,
exactly. And I'm gonna be honest with you. This
really Oscar's not on the list.
This really feels different compared to the other releases. That something bigger is behind this, and something bigger is coming. Yeah, you know, they were talking about. I was talking earlier today about the Saudi Arabia thing with WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia, that they're considering making WrestleMania one night in Saudi Arabia. Which, if they're going to do that, I'd rather have that, you know, than 2 nights in Saudi Arabia. Have one big super card, do what you got to do, get out. You know, and then, you know, who the hell, really think about it, who the hell is going to be left now? You know, you need some jobs.
They just hired another 47 of Roman's cousins. Yeah,
probably right.
There's a lot of Ottawanis out there that still need a job. What's up, Sticks?
Hey, Sticks. Hey,
Sticks,
did you get the $10 super chat that we got?
Yeah. I already talked about it. I already hit it.
Okay, thank you.
Sticks, what do you think, man?
I'm coming into this blind, guys. I'm just coming up. Was out and about, so I haven't heard who. So I'll let you run it down, and I'll give you my opinions.
Get ready, buckle up, because it's pretty much the entirety of SmackDown. Kairi Sane, gone.
What?
Wow. The whole Wyatt Six.
Aleister Black, gone. Zelina Vega, gone. Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, gone. Nikki Cross, gone. Santos Escobar, gone. Motor City Machine Guns, gone. Dexter Loomis, gone. Apollo Crew, gone. Rowan, gone. Joe Gacy, gone. Andrew Chase, gone. Zoey Stark, gone. Alba Fyre, gone. And then you're getting into your developmental. Tyra May Steele, gone. Serena Linton, gone. Tyson, gone. Tyreek, gone. Chris Island, gone. Malik Blade, gone. Thrill London, gone. And Lucas Cristofino, gone. Sorry if I butchered that. Yep. Yes, and Motor City Machine Guns got released.
Yep.
The failed WrestleMania ticket sales taking effect. TKO cutting everyone.
Wow.
Yo, might as well just have Roman Reigns there. Roman Reigns would be the only guy standing. He'll wrestle himself. That's
still might be a great match.
Nah, but serious, Sticks, we were talking about the fact that this feels different. Really different compared to the other releases that they released, and the way it's done, and how friggin' like devastating. Like this is devastating for wrestlers. They gutted SmackDown, so now SmackDown is gonna have. Wow. So the brand split's probably done, and now whoever's left will probably cross back and forth from SmackDown, Raw, going back and forth, and then you'll get some more call-ups from NXT. You know, and you got, you know, it's basically
what NXT call-ups have we gotten on SmackDown so far?
Nobody yet.
Nobody yet. So
Henry,
JC Jane is
Henry,
supposed to be there tonight.
Yeah.
Apparently,
JC Jane. They're saying about they're talking about the Blake Monroe.
yeah. Apparently, Paige is. So, according to Sean Ross Sapp, Blake Monroe has officially been called up, but they have not given a times table on when she will appear on TV or what brand she will be assigned to. You had Monday night. We talked about it last night on the show. You had Joe Hendry being called up. You had Sol Ruca being called up. You had Ethan Page being called up. Ricky Saints' name's been flying around about being called up, but he wants to stay on NXT.
So they want
and
to keep
CW is requesting he stay on NXT because they want to have a big name star to be the face of the company since they're constantly pulling people up. I love everyone keeps saying Jimmy and Jay, man. The Usos are catching some strays here. I heard the roster is on edge with releases. Yes, apparently Triple H called a all hands on deck meeting before SmackDown. All of the big outlets are reporting that TKO's hands are very much involved in these cuts. This is not coming from necessarily Triple H, that this is coming from above him, and he's just kind of the hatchet man. TKO is the one that's kind of deciding who stays and who goes. Some of these feel like personal slights. Like I really think the Aleister Black one, Zelina Vega, that feels like it could be connected to the Pat McAfee fiasco, Randy Orton fiasco, since that news just came out that he was supposed to be involved in that Pat McAfee or the Randy Orton Cody Rhodes match. As like I said when I kicked all this off, you shit can Karrion Kross to bring in Aleister Black to do Karrion Kross's shtick, and then you shit can Aleister Black when it would have made more sense to have Aleister Black be the guy in Randy Orton's ear than it was to have it be Pat McAfee.
Right.
It's nuts. So,
all right,
we got to see. Right now, you got Brie and you got.
That's the story. Once, I mean, I'm not gonna say it for sure, but that's what I'm reading, and that's what's being reported is that a lot of these cuts are coming down from TKO, and Triple H is just the messenger. It's not Triple H delivering the access.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be because Triple H's not in charge. He's in charge of the brand, but he's not in charge of the business.
Right. Usos are just the same old package since 2009. Running this them solo just paid off for Jay for about 3 months. They're done for most of the fans. Yeah, I can see where Jay Uso is pretty much. Well,
that's why they're putting him back into the tag team, right? Because his singles work ran its course, and they sold all their Yeet stuff, and they're getting,
Yeet.
Yeah.
Look,
now they're going to roll it back into the bloodline.
Well, by Monday, it's Friday. So when Monday comes,
it is Friday.
You might get more releases this weekend.
Thanks, Sticks. It is Friday.
No, it's Friday. Yeah. By Monday, yeah. It's Friday. I'm just saying, we might get more releases by Monday.
Oh, yeah. Well, they'll wait for SmackDown to get done, and then they'll reevaluate who they're going to do on Raw.
Matt had this running, this whole gesture going on for about an hour. A crazy live.
I've been going for 2 hours and 13 minutes strong, boys.
I know, but damn, man, and to see the chat like this is amazing, man. Thank you for everyone being
in, guys. Welcome in.
Thank you.
If you guys are just joining us here, we do this every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, right here on Off the Mat. The three of us get together and we talk about our love for professional wrestling. We are not fake overreactors. We give you our blunt, honest opinions on the professional wrestling business and what's going on to date. We don't hold back. We give our opinions. We give our ideas. We give thoughts on creative. We don't just sit here and shit on it. If we're shitting on something, we're giving you something in return to kind of think about. So we appreciate you guys all hanging out with us and checking us out. And if you would hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, drop us a follow so you can check us out what we do every Thursday night. We greatly appreciate it. But you were the first live channel I saw, so I appreciate it. And
that. Thank you.
Awesome. It feels like the longest releases since 2020. Yeah, it is
definitely. Like they got some signings that are happening. So there's some more people coming in, people go out, and people So we'll see. There's a couple of New Japan signings that are happening. There's a couple other people that are going to be released from AEW eventually.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think Bailey's going to get released.
Bailey, no. Bailey will not get released.
I seem to remember an article, maybe it was last year. Old Nick Khan, the Con man, saying that we're always underdogs at WWE. We don't sign bench talent. What the fuck is going on? We don't sign bench talent, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't sign it, but sometimes they end up on the bench because you don't have anything to do for them to do.
You see, that's a total joke when it comes to a storyline, that you don't show a wrestler or a group because of story, which is bullshit. The Wyatt Six, their debut was a strong debut when they took everybody out with Chad Gable and all that stuff like that. And they said, oh my God, Chad Gable shot, blah, 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 all that stuff like that going on. And they had a great ending to that Raw. And then they misused the Wyatt Six. They made them look weak. And a bunch of
their run with against the MFTs were bullshit.
Yeah,
it was bullshit. Made no sense half the time.
Nope.
And then you get the MFTs. Oh, we gotta get the lantern. They can just come and take the lantern every time they want because it's sitting right there on the goddamn apron.
The freaking lantern, man. The Wyatt Six should have been utilized where they can go back and forth and they show up anytime, cause havoc. They go in.
Hear me out. Yeah. Hear me out. They should have been used like they've been trying to use Dark State. Dark State shows up, boom, chaos, and they're gone. Boom, they're here, they're gone, boom.
Yup, you're right. You're right. You're right. Definitely we're not on the point they didn't care about it anymore. Because it went too long and it's didn't resonate for the storyline it was doing. What they should have had, they won the tag team, they took the lantern, and that was it. They should have ended it 1, 2, 3, and then moved on to next.
Yeah, raise your hand if you cared about them stealing the lantern from.
Didn't care.
Nobody cared.
That's the whole freaking thing. What I did care about that they had the tag team championships. They did that, and you're going to move forward and moved on and did other things. Prolonged since May.
No, I'll say
since November, you had the conflict with the Wyatt Six from November. What is it now? It is April. Yeah, that's how long that conflict went on with the MFTs.
Yeah,
and it wasn't even good.
How far did they get with it? Nowhere. It got him nowhere. It got him fired. That's what it got. It got him fired.
What's the full list of released talent?
Anybody new? I will say that I'm kind of shocked because it seems like it's only been 3 or 4 months that they've had the Motor City Machine Guns. Maybe it's been a little longer than that, but I don't feel like I've seen them a lot and utilized a lot. I've seen them on Main Event. They were on Main Event just like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Or last week or 2 weeks ago. But who's Asuka going to yell at now? She can't yell for Kyrie anymore.
I know.
Kyrie! Oh, my God. Well, then maybe that'll be for the best, I guess.
Well, we were kind of talking before you jumped in, Sticks. This feels different, right? Do you see this potentially being a stage like to sell off to maybe Vince? Because we keep hearing those rumors about Vince and a Saudi backer trying to rebuy WWE. Do you think they're making a play to sell to Saudi? Like, could we be seeing a sell off? Because this is a lot of talent. This is a lot of book clearing.
Yeah. So you think they're clearing the warehouse to make it more?
They're cooking their books to make it look a little bit more enticing for someone to come in and buy. Hopefully now we can put Penta and Rey Fenix together. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
What's been wild is seeing the just divide of wrestling fans too, because I'm seeing names like people are saying, oh, they should let Ludwig Kaiser and Chad Gable go, and they're cooking as a Grande Americano in AAA. They're not going to do that.
They're doing great stuff in AAA.
And people saying,
They really
the
are.
Usos and Chelsea Green, and like the problem is that you have to be careful that there's a lot of people just throwing names out there. So you got to really double vet.
Yeah. Matt,
who's
I'm
being
sorry. Can you show the list again for Kyle Destroyer? He wanted to know the full list again.
Yeah, I can.
I will say that I understand people maybe mentioning the Usos. The Usos have been on our TV for the last 6 years. You know, we had them with the Bloodline. Jimmy J had their little solo stuff. We yeeted for a year and a half.
That all the talent they released it were making subpar cash and making money. That one big name, that really big name, is on the horizon of probably getting canned too.
Here's the list for per Sean Ross Sapp and PW Insider. Kairi Sane, Aleister Black, Zelina Vega, Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, Nikki Cross, Santos Escobar, Motor City Machine Guns, Dexter Loomis, Apollo Crews, Rowan, Joe Gacy, Andre Chase, Zoey Stark, Alba Fyre, and then the bottom half is all developmental talent. The Tyra May Steele, Serena Linton, Tyson, Tyreek, Chris Island, Malik Blade, Trill London. I feel like they just signed Trill London too.
Yeah.
And then this, but maybe I'm wrong. This Luca Crucifino. That's your total list as of right now.
You know what, Chet? Listen, I like Jay Cargill. Unfortunately they didn't utilize her really good. The way she is. She had a good WrestleMania match.
The female Lex Luger.
Yep. So I don't think she's going anywhere. Hopefully not. Because they really don't have any talent. If you really think about it, the landscape. And like I said, there's probably more to come. And that one big name is probably is definitely. Oh,
that's a good. I did see that. I did see that Pocket Gaming. I did see Lucha Underground's a Lucha Underground's announcement today too that they're coming back. So a lot of this talent could be going to Lucha Underground as well. But that's 90 days non-compete for main roster, 30 days non-compete for NXT, or whenever if their contract was ending, whenever their contract was up.
Yeah.
But a lot of these guys just signed. Kairi Sane just signed back to go again. So, I mean, she might be coming to the end of her contract, but I bet you she still has a year or two on it. Aleister Black was just re-signed. Zelina Vega just re-signed. Or I don't know about Zelina, but I think I know Aleister did. But some of these guys' contracts may have been coming to a close, like Bo Dallas and Nikki Cross, but Santos Escobar just re-signed.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, we've said it just feels different. There's something here to all this. It doesn't just feel like
JC Jane. JC Jane just showed up SmackDown.
Okay, that's one of the names that was.
Oh wait,
JC
Jane. Oh, the friggin' what's the Fatal Influence?
It's all a Fatal Influence with her.
Yeah, they're beating up Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, and they beat up Brie and Paige.
Yeah, just to answer your question there, Matt. Trill signed with the WWE November 14th of 24.
Okay, so literally a year ago.
Yeah, so a year and a half.
A year and a half ago. Okay.
Yeah, a year and a half ago.
Oh wow. Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's not like you're going to see a Cody Rhodes or anything like that, but some of these guys were pretty much what all SmackDown had.
Well, you're right. I'm telling you, that big name is looming in the back. I hope not, but this feels like a gut blow. That they're just freaking taking out the trash, and they're freaking doing what they got to do.
And they're purging. They're purging.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, listen, this is
it is a big purge. It is a real big purge.
It really is. But we'll see. I'm scared to look at the internet. I'm scared to go online to see what the hell's next. Breaker is not Breaker. Wait,
no. Again, you have to be careful, vet it, and only trust people that are giving you honest. Don't trust people that are just reading Twitter. I'm double sourcing everything, so I'm going through other sources. I'm actually triple checking. So I'm going to ringsidenews.com, checking with them, checking in with PW Insider.
I'm looking.
Checking in.
I'm on CBS right now. I'm looking at CBS.
All of the big insiders. So I'm double and triple checking my sources before we talk about it, just because I'm seeing a lot of names being thrown out there. Like I said, I've seen Jade Cargill thrown out there. And it's running because there was an announcement of a list of talent that were not going to be at SmackDown tonight. So people are running rampant with, then that means they've been released. Well, that means they must be on the chopping block. That must mean they're going to get cut. No, that's not the case.
You know what? You're right. Sheamus might get released.
He's been injured a lot.
He's been injured a lot.
He's injured.
So you're right. He could be. But you know what? The unknown, listen, you're right. We want to make sure that we say the right thing here, because there's a lot of bullshit out there. A lot of people lying about things. So if you see something, we'll check it twice, 3 times. We'll do it as many times as we can to see if it's actually true. And hopefully it's not true. If Breaker is released,
I don't. If Braun Breaker was released, I'm sure Sapp would have come out and said it by now. Like Sapp would have been all over it.
Yeah. No, I don't see him getting released.
Like I said, I'm seeing a lot of people I've never seen before, throwing out names, and I'm just not bringing them up because I'm not seeing any other credible news sites vetting them.
Right.
Well, listen, there's a possibility of names that could be released. Strong possibility, if they're doing this crazy ass purge. But
like I said, Sapp had been very careful with his wording. He said when he was first reporting, he said believed to be among the releases, and then he went back and vetted him once he verified them.
Yeah.
And people are attacking Sapp online right now, saying that these talents have no idea they're being released, and he's saying no, we're only reporting on them once we have word that the talent has been notified. So it is what it is. Take it with a grain of salt, but I'm just, like I said, I'm triple checking my sources, because there's people throwing names out there like Chelsea. People are saying Chelsea Green's been fired. Jerry Cargill's been fired. I'm seeing Chelsea Green's been fired. I'm seeing Alexa Bliss. I'm seeing all these crazy names that aren't
true. I'm looking at CBS, and I'll mention a couple names that I don't think I heard you say. All right. Joe Gacy. Did you say Joe Gacy?
Yeah, Joe Gacy. I said
the whole Wyatt Six is gone.
The whole Wyatt Six is gone. Yeah.
Yeah, and Dante Chen.
Yep, Dante Chen is gone as well.
Okay.
They were among the first. Like your first initial wave were Alba Fyre, Nikki Cross, Zoey Stark. Poor Zoey Stark, because she's been out with that knee injury, man.
Yeah, she just came back not too long ago.
19 Ginger says just throwing some names in.
Her knee.
Thea Hale. I love Thea Hale. Tony D'Angelo, Otis. Tony D'Angelo is the NXT champion right now. Otis. I could see Otis and Tozawa.
Definitely.
Dragunov, they're high on him. B-Fab, Michin, Wendy Chu, Sami Zayn, all imaginable to be fired, in my opinion. Sheamus should be safe. That's a crazy list. Yeah, Crash Out Sami versus the water bottle is the hottest thing WWE had going on now.
I know.
Braun Breaker's not getting released. I bet you Paul and Logan would beg TKO to keep it.
Definitely. Listen, he's a big money maker. He's gonna be a big money maker. He's somewhat the future. And if they do release him, they are stupid.
MJF worked with Joe Gacy worked with MJF and Strickland and CZW, so he has friends at AEW. I could see him going there.
Yeah. Well, look, at the end of the day,
I don't see Sammy being released, given he was at Mania. Yeah, I don't see Sammy being released either.
No. It's just this is really a gut punch. No. Didn't expect all these releases this soon, this fast, and it's crazy.
So the other thing we have to look out for is people whose contracts are going to be let expire.
Right. Well, I'll say it to you too, because it just came back. But I said to Dom, and I said it early in the chat in the stream too, that like, I hate to say it, but if R-Truth and Damian Priest were to somehow lose the tag team championships tonight on SmackDown, I would not be surprised if tomorrow morning R-Truth was released again. Like that would not surprise me one bit.
Is it 6 months since they re-signed him?
R-Truth? They got Danhausen. That's lighting up the thing. They don't need R-Truth in the back anymore.
Same as the Usos.
What about the Miz?
Most fans just care for Sammy when he was funny bloodline sidekick. Besides that, people are just annoying. The Creed brothers, yeah, I could see that. Alpha Academy, yeah, I could see that. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, Candice and Johnny would be. Look, I don't think WWE is very petty, and I don't see them releasing Candice Owens and Johnny Gargano at all, or Candice LeRae, not Candice Owens, Candice LeRae. Dear God, Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano at all, because they know that Tony Khan would just be salivating to sign him to
in a heartbeat.
I would see them sending him back down to NXT before they release him.
Right. R-Truth was re-signed June 9th of 25, so he's coming up on a year.
Okay.
He's coming up on a year in June, so. 3 months out of a year.
Well, they would keep them up into the part until their contract does expire, and then not just let them release them. Definitely.
Yeah. I can see him not being either offered a renewal or him saying.
Well, we all know once what's his name left. Jesus, why am I drawing a blank?
Cena?
No, went to AEW. Johnny Gargano's tag team partner.
Tommaso Ciampa.
Once Ciampa left,
Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah, you knew that eventually Johnny Gargano is going to leave eventually, but they'll probably wait till their contracts expire to let him go, and instead of just releasing him.
Yeah, I just don't. Like I said, WWE is very petty. I don't see them releasing Johnny Gargano, or if they do, they're gonna like tack on like some like Samantha Irvine level non-compete clause to him. That's another one I keep saying. Solo Sikoa. Solo should be released. He hasn't been into a WrestleMania. Well, look, I'm not sitting here calling for people's jobs, man. Like,
I know you can't blame him. You got to blame the creative. You got to blame all the crap that's going on. TKO.
You 100% have to blame TKO, the heads, and creative.
It's nuts. We're gonna see. We'll see what the future holds.
I didn't forget The Rock is part of TKO, and neither did WWE when they paid him some ungodly amount of money just to be able to use the trademark of The Rock. Yeah, they're not gonna really. I can't remember who said it earlier in the chat, but someone said they're doing all this to make way for like 60 more Anawani members.
Yeah.
Zilla Fatu, are we gonna see Zilla Fatu in NXT soon?
Maybe.
Might now.
Exactly. Definitely see him.
Who else are we gonna see come in? Like insane.
I would love to see.
Could you imagine the field day Rikishi would have on his podcast if WWE came in and fired his boys?
Oh yeah,
send his sons packing. He would lose his ever-loving mind. Tommy Invincible, hell yeah! Let's get Tommy Invincible up in here, bitch.
Yep.
Let's ride the lightning with Tommy Invincible.
Oh yeah. Cody's in the ring right now. Is he gonna say he's gonna step down a little bit? Surgery for his eye.
Man, it's just gutted, man. Gutted. SmackDown's gutted. SmackDown is done. The brand split, I think, is done.
Well, we talked about that on Thursday, right? The possibility of maybe it not.
We've been talking about the brands, the freaking the draft for over a year. Yeah, it does.
Well, if they're going to consolidate and make it just one, you're not going to get a draft. You're just going to have that open-ended.
Black eye looks horrific.
Let me ask you three this. Who do you think they should bring in or keep besides more release? Well,
I don't.
Bring in. Well, listen, Zilla Fatu, definitely bring him in. Because there's been a lot of issue, things going on between Ricky Saints and him. You bring him into NXT.
100%.
Definitely. Me personally, I'll bring back a favorite of mine, Karrion Kross, but I don't know if he wants to come back. And I actually wouldn't want him to come back to get fired again, which really sucks. Right. But it could be a possibility. Get back, and then like the bottom.
They don't have anything for him. They don't have anything for him to do.
Well, he was originally what they gave Aleister Black and
I know, but now they don't have anything for him to do. That's played out. That's over.
I don't. But who else out there? There's potentially other names that are going to be released by AEW that they could possibly pick up. Contracts are probably coming to an end. We keep saying Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, I know he's obligated to the add-on to his contract.
I don't know
for a couple of the dates, and maybe we'll see him by SummerSlam.
I'm sure that Tony Khan is sitting in the draft room of the Jacksonville Jaguars right now with just a massive hard-on with all the talent he's seeing being released.
I know.
But another thought, mass release of the same weekend as the NFL draft, trying to keep it as quiet as possible, and TKO possibly grateful for the draft. They're not keeping this quiet, man. This is the amount of talent that's being released right here. Like them essentially releasing the entire. We've been saying for weeks that Raw, they have no tag team division anymore. There's no tag team division on Raw. There's tag teams on SmackDown, but they're not being utilized. Well, Motor City Machine Guns have been on TV damn near every week. And now they're gone. So, and they were one of the credible tag teams, but it is a head scratcher that talent like that, like Kip Sabian and stuff, are getting released, but they're keeping the likes of Otis and Tozawa. They're keeping the likes of.
They might be going, man. You don't know.
Yeah, they might be of Grayson Waller, Maxine Dupree. Like, I'm not calling for anybody's jobs. I'm just making the observation that it's insane the level of talent they're releasing versus the level of talent they're keeping. And maybe that's all contract, and that talent is on a much cheaper contract, so they're easier to keep. Maybe you're right. Maybe they are going to release this talent and sign them to a much more company-friendly deal. But if I was these guys, I wouldn't want to do that. I would be pissed that they keep jerking me around. If I was Aleister Black, like, I'd be like, I'm not coming back again.
Yeah.
Let's see. Brian Carr says, even with Rhea Ripley going to SmackDown, it isn't going to help the show either. No. Yeah, probably. It's boring.
Look, what they're going to have is they're going to have their main talent that's on SmackDown, but they're going to have crossovers. Because if the brand split is done, they're going to have the crossovers with Raw, SmackDown going back and forth. So,
and the word on Evil is that he's requesting to go to NXT, so he has time to get used to the WWE style of wrestling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Khan to AEW and Triple H goes back to NXT. Hey, I mean, listen, we know it. Triple H can book a show, man. WrestleMania 40. NXT stand and deliver, or not stand and deliver, but takeovers for the black and gold, man.
Takeovers.
Triple H can do it. It seems like things are slowing down, though. I haven't seen any more releases, but last time I said that, we got a whole nother slew of names.
Zarina is talking about her release on her podcast, her stream.
She's talking about her release. I don't know if it's the wrestling company's trying to be politically correct. It's just creative. They're not. It's old head, man. It's in anything. At some point, you have to have a turning of the guard. We had Vince McMahon do his dastardly, diabolical shit that he did, and he got ousted. But they put his son-in-law in that position, with rightfully so. Triple H was the choice, to do it, to make the transition easier. But they kept, to help Triple H out, they kept the old heads of the Vince regime. Bruce Pritchard's still there. Michael Hayes is still there. So you had, like I said earlier, you had all this shit from them shooting themselves in their foot between what was going on in Unreal with Chelsea Green and everything Unreal has shown. And they thought that they could make Road Dogg be the scapegoat. So they let Road Dogg walk. And Road Dogg's out here saying, it's not me. It was the other people in the room that were not letting me do what I wanted to do. Okay, I guess, yeah, it's easy to point the finger at that point. But it's clearly, there's clearly, when you look at the Wyatt Six, you go, okay, you look at the names that have been released, and you go, okay, Zoey Stark, maybe she's been out for a year. She's just costing against the books. Who knows? Maybe they got bad news about her knee, and she's not going to be able to come back as quickly as possible. And instead of just extending her contract due to injury time, they're just going to release her because she's going to have, maybe, just speculating, maybe she has structural damage to that knee that will limit her in the ring. But Kairi Sane, Aleister Black, Kairi Sane's been heavily involved with Asuka and Io, so she's been 100% there in story. Aleister Black, he's been kind of very eerily like Karrion Kross, hanging out in the background only to be cut. Uncle Howdy, the Wyatt Six, misused, terribly misused. Like you guys, like we all said, that feud with the MFTs went on far too long, and if one of them got hurt, they took all of them off TV. They should have put them with Alexa Bliss right off the rip. They should have put them with Alexa Bliss. So then you got Andre Chase. He wasn't really doing much. He was kind of stale on NXT. That doesn't surprise me. So, it had to be, there has to be more going on here.
Yeah, they killed his gimmick and then tried to revive it with those two guys.
Why start the bloodline with Roman again when we already had it exist 2 years ago? I said that same thing. And not to mention that, I'll top that time in. Why do you have CM Punk spend the last 2-3 months harping on the fact that Roman Reigns can't do anything on his own? He needs his cousins. And his first night as champion, what does he do? He runs right back to his cousins. So all you did was just prove everything CM Punk said 100% correct. Brandon says, I think TKO is keeping African wrestlers also like Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, Obafemi, and Royce Keys, the New Day, Javon Evans. Look, that's their future right there. Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, Obafemi, Javon Evans. That's their future. That the future is in good hands with them, man. Like, I would 100% say that we're in absolute trouble. The ship is going down. They're looking to sell and fire sell fast if they released the likes of Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, Obafemi, Royce Keys, and Javon Evans. I would be like, this is a fire sale. They're sinking fast. I don't think that's going to be the case. That's their future. That's who they're putting all their bank and their money into right there. If they put the Wyatts with Alexa, that could have been their saving grace. Absolutely. Especially when Bo Dallas got hurt like 2 weeks into their initial run. Because money and ratings. I mean, if it was money and ratings, you pretty much just spit in the face of your network, of USA Network, right here by gutting SmackDown, because you got nothing. I'm actually kind of surprised CM Punk hasn't shown up on SmackDown yet tonight. TKO will be the end of WWE if they don't decide to sell up. Nothing good has come from them taking over, because they're trying to treat it like they don't understand. They don't understand the nature of the wrestling business. And I think that's why they brought The Rock on. And now The Rock has that turmoil with Triple H. And I don't think The Rock's going to even touch anything WWE as long as Triple H is there. And there's that turmoil where clearly it feels like they don't understand the wrestling business, because they're trying to treat WWE and approach it like it's UFC, and it just doesn't work. Yeah. I bet they do Roman Reigns versus The Rock at WrestleMania 43 main event. Like I said, I think that there's we just got done with WrestleMania, and all of WrestleMania season, the whole road to WrestleMania, Triple H did not, or The Rock did not promote WWE once. He did not promote WrestleMania once. He did not promote his cousins once. nothing. He was in Vegas for CinemaCon the same week as WrestleMania. He got his big ass on a jet and flew home. So he didn't appear at WrestleMania. He does not talk about WWE. He's not cut any promos. He's not talked about anything on his socials. I think as long as Triple H is there, The Rock is going to stay clear, because there was obviously some giant. We heard the rumors that there was some giant falling out between The Rock and Triple H last year at WrestleMania, which caused The Rock to take his ball and go home. And that's why TKO tapped Travis Scott to come out in the John Cena Cody Rhodes match. And we got that dumpster fire of a match there. And then we got the, same thing happening this year where Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll both tap out. And we got this clusterfuck of an ending to this year's championship match. I don't see The Rock wrestling in WWE as long as Triple H is there. So either TKO is going to out Triple H and remove Triple H and put somebody else in that role, or The Rock just ain't going to come back no matter how much money they throw at him. Because honestly, when it comes to The Rock, he doesn't need money. Netflix is way more important to them than USA. You're absolutely correct. But it sucks that Raw only pulls about 3 million views on Netflix a week.
Yep. Well, we're going to see what happens with I guess what they're going to do is they're going to try to help USA by having the guys go back and forth. They'll have big names show up on
what hot takes about AEW are incorrect that literally make your head hurt. I'm interested to hear about that. Agree that Triple H won't be there much longer. Probably.
He might get canned this week. Who knows?
Yeah. Heading to bed now, almost 3:20 a.m. Oh man, I'm in Germany. Oh,
nice.
Germany.
It has been a blast chatting about the situation. All the best, you guys. Hey man, thanks a lot. You have a great night, man. Enjoy. Get some rest. I'm sure it's going to continue to be crazy.
Yep.
The Saudis can want The Rock to WrestleMania, but unless they're gonna, do you think the Saudis will back $1 billion truck up to The Rock? Because at some point, I know every man has his price, but The Rock's holding strong at this point. It seems like. Who do you think, if Triple H got fired, would they replace him with? That's a great question. Honestly,
Shawn Michaels.
Maybe Shawn. I don't know if Shawn would take it. Off the top of my head, with who they have right now, I would say it could potentially either go to Bruce Pritchard or
Heath, no.
Who's the other one? Maybe Paul Heyman, because they had Paul Heyman doing, and there was that rumor they're going around that Paul Heyman was going to be the general manager of SmackDown.
Yep, maybe that might still happen.
It could be Michael Hayes. It could be Paul Heyman.
Yeah, I was trying to think of who the Freebird. Like, what's the Freebird guy?
You know what? But that still might happen.
I agree with Ham that Shawn would probably retire at that point. I did know Apollo Crews was still with WWE. I did.
He was injured. You didn't see him for a while. Then he popped up on
Brian Gerwitz.
Yeah, he was on
maybe.
Yeah.
He was on that YouTube one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame Triple H, because after everything he's done for the company, I just don't know why Vince would destroy his own company.
It's not destroying his own company. It's
Brian Gerwitz would take over creative. Triple H goes, he is The Rock's boy. You're probably 100% right, because that is the guy who writes all The Rock's promos. That's The Rock's boy. I would not be surprised.
Yep.
One bit.
Hire you, definitely. Go right ahead, man. I'll be honest, I wouldn't want the job. I really wouldn't. Vince didn't want. Look, if those allegations didn't come out, Vince would have still been partially owning the WWE with TKO, and they probably been a different type of company. It'd be business as usual, and eventually TKO would have turned around and probably said, "Listen, we'll buy you out if you want," or the whole plan was for him selling it to the side.
Okay. So sorry to interrupt you, Dom. Zelina Vega is on, like you said, was on her podcast, and she says something very, very interesting that I want to share. I want to play and share audio here if I can. she said something very, very interesting that I want to share with you guys. Here, let's play the Zelina Vega video. Can you guys hear it?
No.
You can't hear it?
I can't. Can you put it up? Can you put it up on the screen?
You got to drop
I didn't put it up on the screen. Whoops, my bad. Sorry, everybody. I promise you this isn't my first time here. All right.
When people
Can
call,
you hear it now?
usually, or from there, it would say TK. Oh, sorry, it would say Stanford calling you. That's when your heart's like, oh fuck. But this time, it said TKO. So I was like, very telling. 5:09 p.m. is when I found out.
Wow.
So.
Yep.
Yeah. That is the thing. But I think the biggest holy fuck is that when.
So there you go.
So
she said it right there that normally when they get released, they see Stanford, Connecticut calling, and that's when your heart goes crazy. At this time, it said TKO. So they're getting the call directly from TKO. This is an over the Triple H's head sort of deal here.
Yep. Well, we knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know who. But there's some names there that I'm a little surprised by. Some I'm not too surprised by.
In 12 months, because there was speculation that Tony Khan was in talks to buy WWE. In 12 months, on a special preempted Friday collision, Tony Khan announces he bought WWE only for Shad to come out in a SmackDown and announce that he bought WWE. Oh, good, the whole WCW, WWE buyout thing again, huh?
Oh, sorry, wrong Khan.
Yeah, TKO is definitely taking over, if and no buts about it. We got the leaked audio too from Ari Shaffir saying that TKO, everything runs through them. All the decisions run through them. They make the decisions. They run everything. And looks like that's the case, as Zelina Vega is the first one to kind of speak out about it and admit that the call came from TKO. So yeah, this looks like it's over Triple H's head. It's over all the creative. Triple H is probably scrambling. Yeah, not great.
Nope.
Technically, they should hear from TKO as they're all TKO employees, not Triple H employees. But WWE is owned by TKO. So they should be getting the call from WWE headquarters, who handles the talent. TKO doesn't sign the talent, WWE does. So WWE would be responsible for terminating the talent. So therefore, the calls letting you know your release should come from WWE, from Stamford, Connecticut, not from TKO. The fact that it's coming from TKO means that it is coming from over the head of WWE. It is coming from the tippity top, trickling down.
Yeah.
Do you all really think Brock is done? No, I don't. I think we will see Brock at SummerSlam for one more match.
Yeah, I hold out hope for one more, but who knows? Brock will do what Brock wants to do. So, all right.
I'm so pissed that Black just came back for no reason. Yep. I heard some of the release wrestlers were scheduled for SmackDown, but got released, so that's why Triple H called that meeting. Yeah. So there was a lot. You got, like I said, there's a lot of reports going on. Apparently, there was a all hands meeting before SmackDown, an hour before SmackDown, to let people know that they were released. That Triple H did call, but there's also people that were scheduled, promoted for SmackDown, like Jay Cargill, I think Chelsea Green, and some of these others that were not there. And so people are running rampant, automatically being like, oh my God, they must have been released. They were released. They weren't on SmackDown. They just were nixed from the show. That happens sometimes. That doesn't mean that they were released. No. But yeah, that a lot of these releases did come out of nowhere, because I saw, I saw the initial releases and I was like, all right, well, obviously we're going to be done, because they're not going to release more during SmackDown. And nope, here we go. Keep releasing people during SmackDown. But
all right.
Zoey Stark released a Twitter post thanking WWE, and doing her link for bookings. Look, this is what we do here on Off the Mat. We give hard truth takes. And I'm gonna drop some truth on everybody here a little bit.
Oh, here we go.
If you're coming in saying that you're sad about this person being released or that person being released, buy a t-shirt. Whenever they release merch on most will probably do pro wrestling tees. Buy a t-shirt. If they're an independent booking, go to that independent show. Support them any way you can. Buy a shirt, buy merch, support their Twitch streams if they do that. To me, it's like if you're coming in here being like, oh, I'm sad so and so is released. Well, if they're being released, they're either A, not in stories, B, not a high merch seller, C, who knows. But I don't see a lot of people rocking Aleister Black shirts. I don't see a lot of people rocking Zelina Vega shirts. Now, they might not have had merch there to buy. But that's the best way to support these guys now. If you want to support them, would be go, once their stuff is uploaded on Pro Wrestling Tees, go buy a shirt, go see them independently, buy an autograph. If they do meet and greets afterwards, things like that. That's going to be the best way to support them now. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. You never want to see anybody lose their job, but it's the nature of the beast at the same time.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. AEW does the same thing with talent. Book the same once and release newest members, and don't tell anybody that did it. They just did it with what's his name from the Rascals. I'm sure Shinsuke not released, but he might be retired. I'm surprised Slow Style hasn't been released either, honestly.
Well, not yet. We'll see.
Slow Style.
We're going to see.
That's Aleister Black was upstaged by Julia Hart when he was in AEW. AEW doesn't need any new talent on the roster right now. That's right. They need to figure out how to write stories for the talent they do have currently.
Yep.
But it looks like we're slowing down. It doesn't look like any other big ones tonight. At least not yet.
Well, listen, at
least that have been announced yet, we might get a couple more overnight and through the weekend. We'll keep you
posted. Definitely keep you posted. We'll definitely give the rundown again on Thursday night, 9:00 when we have the show. We'll let everybody up to date on all the talent released and any more surprises that WWE can throw at us.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think Julia's going to go.
No, Julia ain't going anywhere. And if they, if they're dumb and they release her, they're stupid.
Yes, they did sign Evil from New Japan Pro Wrestling today. He's probably going to end up going to NXT. Although I wouldn't be surprised if he's on SmackDown at this point. I think it's time for WWE fans to rise up and make every stadium shake with chants against TKO and show their frustrations. We should have been doing that all along, but every time, here's the other thing. I've said it. I screamed about it at nauseum on night one of WrestleMania. Fans who go and buy tickets, you saw how crazy packed WrestleMania was. And yes, they sold 10,000 less tickets than they did last year. But fans that are paying those prices or non-fans that are paying those prices are part of the problem, because the more we go there, the more we fill out their arenas, the more we sell them out, the more tickets we buy, the more $30 or $40 shirts you buy, the more money that TKO sees that they can suck out of you. And they're just going to keep going back to that well and going back to that well and going back to that well and going back to that well. It's not going to change anything. So that's part of the problem. Is if you're going to go fill out, cool, you can go pay your $200 or $300 per seat for your nosebleeds and scream till your heart's content. But TKO is just going to sit there and laugh at you and be like, oh, we got your money anyway, so what do we care, chump? If you want to make a change, stay home.
Hey, Mighty, Evil is 42. He's too old for NXT, but I think he'll be there for a couple of months just to learn the techniques, and then he'll be called up.
Stay home. Watch from home. Don't, you can support the wrestler indirectly that's your favorite, absolutely, but don't support the machine. Don't buy these expensive tickets. Don't pay these crazy concession stand prices. figure out ways around the WWE ESPN deal if you don't get it for free from your internet provider. That's how you're going to make a change. You're going to affect change with your wallet, and that's they don't care what you sit there and cry. Yeah, they brought back R-Truth because of it and all that, but ultimately the whole WrestleMania season, what's the focus been on? Ticket prices, and they gave us 20% off on Ticketmaster, which pretty much only covered your fees. So that's the only way you're going to enact change and make a difference is with your wallet and fans making a change with their wallet. So,
hey, Hamp, listen, Damian Priest and R-Truth just kept the belts tonight. They didn't lose it. They'll probably have the belts for a little bit longer. And the LA Knight, I don't think LA Knight's going to get released. But you know what? The way things are going, you never know. We'll see what happens by the weekend. And even past the weekend, there still could be some releases the way things are, because it's not just one day. There could be a total renaissance, but we'll see.
All right.
Hey, Almighty Pop. Thank you, man.
We appreciate you, Mighty Pop.
We appreciate it, definitely, man.
It is similar to buying a $30 shirt that says Cena sucks. You know, like you could realistically go to Walmart, buy a blank white Fruit of the Loom shirt, get a black Sharpie and write Cena sucks on the front of it in the back.
Exactly. You can put LA Knight on the shirt too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not against supporting your wrestler. By all means, support the wrestler. It's what they do, but you're supporting the machine. There's way to
I might make my own RKO shirt.
Yeah, there's a way to support the wrestlers outside of paying godly amounts of money for a ticket, and that's why we're seeing more celebrity involvement. That's the whole thing, is that WrestleMania sold 10,000 less seats than last year's, and they're mad about it.
Thing? I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but
one good thing is the talent involved. We'll move on to NXT. Yeah, they're gonna have to move. Essentially, with what happened tonight, they're gonna have to remove everybody from NXT up to SmackDown and everybody from Evolve up to NXT, and then they're gonna have to look for a whole new Evolve crowd.
They can have that little a little opening that looks like Pokemon, you know. Oh, we evolved. We're now in NXT.
Yeah. But guys, thank you so much for everyone who hung out with us tonight. I appreciate it. Going on 3 hours strong talking about this. We do this every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Off the Mat, talking all the latest and greatest in professional wrestling with a real, honest review and take. There's a lot of times that we don't agree on things, and we do give our honest opinions. And you know, I sit here and say that full transparency, that I think that a lot of the problems with the business are the fans who sit there and accept the bullshit stories and accept the bullshit creative and accept the half-ass shows that WWE is putting out and asking for you to spend your hard-earned money on.
Contrary. Thank you.
That's what it is I'm a firm believer in that, you know, we are part of the problem when we sit here and consume all this shit from WWE, give them our hard-earned money, and they don't enact any change. And this is not the kind of change we want. We want creative change. We don't want to see people lose their jobs. So
thank you for everybody on the chat. You know,
thank you everybody for your kind words. If this continues with the celebrities, we're going to relive WCW 2001, and AEW may possibly come out on top to do just pure wrestling. We're kind of already there.
We are already there. I
mean, we literally just inducted Dennis Rodman into the Hall of Fame, and he had one of the worst Hall of Fame speeches of all time. It's pretty much shit on the business and walked away.
That's it.
So, Hamp, appreciate you for being a first-time viewer.
Thank you.
Sitcomradery, great channel. Keep it up. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Sitcomradery.
They need to release Vanessa Hudgens. Excellent channel. Thanks, Ty. We appreciate it. We appreciate everyone hanging out strong for the last 3 hours. You guys are amazing. If you can hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on the way out. Please turn that notification bell on so you can stay up to date, because we'll go live again and do this all over again if we get another crop of releases and feel like we need to talk about it. But it is a crazy day in WWE. The roster from top to bottom is pretty much just gutted.
Thank you, Brian.
And yeah, so I hope to see some of you beautiful people this next Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Off the Mat. Until then, thank you so much. Keep your eyes to the socials, and we'll keep you updated on what's going on. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of tonight's releases. Where do you think WWE goes from here? Do you think this is potentially a bigger thing? Is this a Saudi sell-off? Is this a Vince McMahon return to buy? I don't know. Well, I guess we're going to find out. Give us your takes. Give us your takes. It just kind of feels a little bit different tonight. But with that being said, have a great Friday night, everyone. And we'll see you guys hopefully all back here Thursday night for more Off the Mat goodness. Quickly becoming your new wrestling obsession.